Hello all, we're about to start up Dragon Warriors again, and starting the campaign The Elven Crystals, that was originally published way back in the mid 1980s. So, nostalgia trip for a lot of people, but hopefully old enough that anyone that played it doesn't really remember what went on, what happened, hopefully. Right, so we kick off. It's nice warm spring day in Ferromain. You're probably sort of out enjoying your little private sort of plaza relaxation square area with potted plants and things between the townhouse and the workshop. When the old steward emerges through the doors to get your attention. My lords and ladies,
Yes, speaks.
well, either a peacock has gotten lost from an exotic garden somewhere and magically attained the power of speech, or my old master Milano is here to see you.
Bring him in.
As you wish. He's looking a lot fitter and healthier, the steward. Clearly working for you suits him a lot better than working for Milano. Yes, a short time later, Milano appears with a few sort of toadies in tow, probably his personal sort of merchant assistants with an abacus tucked under one arm and his clerk with a book and pen and pencils. Ah, my friends, how are you?
Rich.
Yes, we are all very rich, and it's all thanks to you and me, but a lot of the thanks are to you.
Also, thanks to us.
Yes. Have you been keeping busy?
Indeed, we stopped an uprising in our homeland.
You never stop being the hero. I understand
Indeed.
you have a much grander title now.
Indeed, I've been made a baronet.
Congratulations. Fantastico. So, are you open to more visits to your old homeland or places close there too?
I would say my preference would be to return there one day.
Now, he picks out a chair and sits down. I have not been idle while you have been busy saving your country from uprisings and machinations and things. You helped me to find a great treasure in Mongoda, and it made me think, what other strange treasures and mystical items and cities of gold might be elsewhere? And then I had some people study and look for me. Reading is so boring. And we find a story for the land next to yours, Erawan, a story of great magical treasures, crystals of enormous power. Arturo, the book. His clerk comes forward and takes out a smaller tome from his book satchel. Yeah. Read for us. And here comes a hefty load of exposition. Right. Arturo, for it is he, opens the book, the old leather creaking, and begins to read from it. Not in an Italian accent, because I can't be asked. Elves have ever held themselves aloof from mankind. Rare indeed is the elf who travels with humans. Rarer still he who devotes his life to aiding them. Of the elven friends of man, none has ever shone more brightly in the gloom of ages than Elveron, the archmage of Erawan, comrade and sworn confidant of the king. The kingdom of Erawan knew peace and prosperity in its time. Elveron worked titanic magics to seal the kingdom's borders against evil, both the natural and the unnatural alike. The land yielded crops as if it were glad to offer them up. The rivers gave a seemingly endless silver harvest of fish. Children slept without fear of goblins and ghouls. Yet all creatures born to live must some day die, and Elveron knew that he too must perish. The thought of this beloved land, left without his protection, troubled him. Preparations had to be made, or Erawan's golden age would pass into the darkness along with him. First, he gathered together the magicians of the kingdom and taught them the art of preserving the great wards. These were the boundary stones marking the limits of the kingdom, between which stretched the invisible barriers keeping evil at bay. So long as the magicians did their duty and refreshed the magic, with each turn of the seasons, the wards would stand. Next, he passed down a legacy of potent charms and lore, teaching the rudiments of his art to the select men and women of the villages, so that the common people could ward themselves against ill luck and the petty little evils that came creeping in the dark hours. Those who learned these arts were called the cunning folk, a good deal less powerful than the grand magicians, but more trusted by the common people, and with a vital role to play. As the day of his death grew nearer, Elveron prepared a final security. He ensorcelled a huge crystal, and into it placed an image, an echo of himself, that would remain behind and continue to pass on his knowledge to the people. The strain of the magic quickened his demise, and he died soon after. With heavy heart, the king set up the crystal in the grand hall of Castle Erawan, in the place that Elveron had decreed for it. To his astonishment, the rays of the noonday sun through the crystal cast a living, moving image of a youthful Elveron, who smiled and asked after the kingdom. Thus it was that the Archmage was able to give counsel from beyond death, in a form woven of light. There are those that say the rays of the full moon cast another image altogether, but what that was nobody knew, for the king was careful to lock and bar the grand hall at such times. Only a distant howling like that of a gigantic wolf, many worlds away, gave any clue to what the crystal called up then. It only took a moment of human weakness to undo all of Elveron's careful preparation. At dawn on Midsummer's Day, when magicians around the land made solemn procession to the great wards for the ritual of replenishment, someone failed in his duty. Whether Storm the Red was moved by malice, laziness, or the interference of some outside agent, nobody knows. All that is known is that he failed to enact the rite that would have renewed the barriers. The wards in the east fell, and a pent-up darkness came howling across the land. In the great hall of Castle Erawan, the crystal shattered into 3 shards, as if in anguish at the betrayal. Dawn never came on that midsummer's day. The sky blackened with storm clouds, thunder boomed over the hills, and torrential rain and lightning obscured the face of the earth, only abating after a week. When the armoured men and the courtiers of the king fared forth to see what had become of the land in this time, they found the crops blighted in the fields, the people racked with plague, and the woods and dark places infested with evil. It was as if many lifetimes of misfortune had all come at once, flooding over a kingdom that had almost forgotten what evil was. Some demonic force, unnamed as yet, had taken root. A nameless fear and dread hung over the heads of all who dwell in Castle Erawan. One by one the knights took their weapons and their mounts and went off to seek employ in other kingdoms. The sorcerers left, deserting bubbling vats, slipping out of postern gates at dead of night, never to be seen again. In his shadowed hall, the king spoke to his few remaining knights. Though Elveron's image was now lost, he had spoken to the king before he died of what should be done if the wards should ever fail, and the kingdom fall to darkness. No power on this earth could purge the land again, but there was a power in the spirit world, the lands beyond earth, that could cast the evil back beyond the boundaries. Elveron himself had drawn upon this tremendous power once, when he first scoured the evil from Erawan and established the great wards. Even the king did not know what form it would take. It was known only by one word, Olbus. The door to the spirit world was called the Moon's Gate. This could only be opened by fixing the 3 crystal shards of the block back together and allowing the light of the full moon to pass through it. None of the king's remaining knights came forward to take up the quest for Olbus. Rumours had long been circulating that a fearsome demon wolf roamed the plains beyond the Moon's Gate, battening on the souls of mortal men. To die in Erawan was at least a natural death, with the hope of paradise beyond. Any knight would willingly face such an end. But to die far from home in some nightmarish elven realm, with your very soul devoured by a wolf demon, was a fate too horrible to contemplate. None of the knights, could look the king in the eye, and one by one they slunk away as their brethren in arms had done before them. The old king died, broken-hearted that no one dared to take up the challenge he had set. His son was foully murdered soon after. Weak regents or greedy barons have all ruled in the many years since, but none for long. The real power in the land resides with the forces of anarchy and lawlessness that stalk every high road of the kingdom. Only the cunning folk with their simple peasant magic keep back the darkness to any degree. The 3 crystal fragments, symbol of the elven magic that had kept the kingdom whole, have long ago disappeared from sight and memory. 70 long years have passed since the fall of Erawan. In that time, evil has sunk deep roots into the land. Volano sort of hurries him through the last little bit. I think we have discovered where one of these crystal shards is.
And you believe if we collect all 3...
I don't know what to believe, but I know that these are valuable, that people want them, and what people want, they will pay for. And if these are truly rare, powerful elven crystals, perhaps something can be done with them. My concern is gold, but yeah, if we can help people, yeah, this would also be good.
Garrison, what do you think?
Well, to have these in case of future calamity would not be too unwise. We should collect these, whether for us or for the land or for the kings. Does not matter, as long as they are not lost to the winds and the lands, to the areas unknown. We should collect these, find them. Assuming I heard this correctly. He knows where one is, right? They are no, they're missing. They were missing in time, and this guy knows where one of them is, right?
Yes, he thinks so.
Yeah. So we should do this. Yeah. Otherwise,
so the legend says that if you have all 3 crystals, you can control the whole country.
You can protect the whole country, yes.
Protect, sorry, yes. I didn't understand that word, yes.
it creates a barrier between here and the evils, we'll say.
Protect the country from what, exactly?
Well, my curiosity might be that it might be similar to that creature we saw underneath that temple. Maybe there are more of its ilk or something like it, or maybe worse. And perhaps it can create or cause the barrier between here and the other realms to make it stronger so they cannot get here. Would be my first, and we'd have to study more, see if we can find more about the lore.
And if we found this crystal, you could study it to your heart's content. I agree, we should find it.
Excellent. Now, this is...
Otherwise, this adventure is damned.
This is a...
Or we could kill some goblins.
Kill the goblins!
Why not both?
Kill the goblins with the crystal. Oh, wait. No.
Now, of course, this is a mercantile venture on my behalf, so I'll be happy to pay you and to take care of your estate while you're away, yes?
Seems reasonable.
Well, we have a steward, don't we? He can look after the house while we're gone.
If he needs assistance, he can call on me. So, I can provide a ship to take you to Erawan. What else would you require?
Well, what is your side of the bargain? What do you wish for in return?
I wish to find this crystal. And
He wants
perhaps
to sell it.
its brethren, and Where there is magic, there is money. Lawmasters alone will pay a good amount to see this thing, to understand it.
I would have you know, though, that if it is found that this crystal is of dire importance, we would have to reimburse you instead.
Of course. But just for seeking the thing, we'll pay you, say, 100 crowns each. So 1,000 florins.
Oh,
That seems more than fair, but if this legend or what have you has any amount of truth to it, it could be of dire importance to Elesland.
Yeah, it could be of great importance to all of us. Still, I am now a rich dilettante. I have money to burn, so Mercutio will arrange to have the money transferred to your vaults, and I shall arrange passage and send a boy to fetch you when the ship is ready a few days hence.
Is
Elesland. It's Elesland, isn't it?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Elena, this talk of like lifting the veil between this land and the next, that's giving me the willies. I don't want.
no, I believe the crystals didn't lift it. I think it embolstered them.
Yeah, I'm
Without it
gonna
being-
about this.
Without it being the ritual being redone, the veil, the protection to that realm has been lifted. It's not that these crystals are going to lift it. From what I hear, the Elven dude didn't finish that last ritual, and so it weakened. Is what I think I heard. I'm partially deaf, so running on what I thought I heard.
Hey, it's all myth and legend anyway. Maybe merda de mucca, as you say. But
Well,
there
there's
is no
always
harm
truth
in
in legends.
yes, and there is no harm in checking. And I
No
have
harm
money
in
to burn.
Let us do this.
Brother Abbas, did you wish to interject?
I just want, just one slight concern I have is in the story they did mention that on a night when something else was heard on an evening when the crystal was whole. Sounds like something else got let in from another realm.
It seems like all the more reason for us to reclaim this crystal
Absolutely.
in order to secure its strength for ourselves.
Yes, someone will find it. Better it be you. Now, I believe this first of these crystals is secreted within the Gallows wood, south of Erawan village. So many things called Erawan. They are very uncreative in their names. Erawan the kingdom, Erawan the river, Erawan the village. Whoosh. Anyway, my ship will take you as close as it can. You will go to the village, investigate, maybe do some heroic deeds for the villagers, and they will tell you where to find the crystal. Easy.
Are we going to take the horses and everything? We'll need a bigger ship to fit them all on.
I have the big ship. I have the biggest ship, the best ship. Everyone says how huge my ship is.
All right, easy. Well, I know.
Anyway, I
Drink
have
some wine. Sit down.
I have
So
other appointments.
during this
Arturo and Mercutio will stay, arrange details. Farewell. And he sweeps out.
During this downtime between these adventures, has she ever taken a look at that that goblin red cap potion that she's got?
Yes, but you're not yet able to really discern what it does. You're still studying, learning how to do potions and things.
Okay, why is it still on the mule?
Yeah, not
Because the mule's expendable.
Oh, if it blows up. Got
Yes.
it. Don't blow up the shop. Don't blow up the shop. Not in the castle.
Okay. Do you want to do any prep? I'm assuming you're going to sort of refill your rations, things like that.
Yes.
Crossbow bolts, that's a running joke, isn't it?
He's going to go into battle with one. Just one.
I think I did replenish his bolts for him, so he should be all right there. No, nothing else.
I think I've got everything that I need. Brother Albus, you've not been out in a while. We've been
No, I think I've got everything I need.
Okay. Right. Screenwipe. A small, dank little village in Erawan. Okay, let's see. The petals of spring blossom, such as it is here anyway, are swirling down from blossoming trees as you enter the village of Erawan in the Vale of Shadows. To the west you can see a river meandering from some distant wood-covered hills. The margins of the forest come right up to the boundaries of the village, and it's obvious to you that not all is well with the land. Fields that should be ripe with harvest stand untended and wild. Emaciated cattle huddle forlornly on a windswept hill, and many of the doors to the huts in the village swing open and shut to the vagaries of the wind. On the skyline, blackly silhouetted, 3 figures clank in chains on a gibbet, black crows feasting on their eyes. You notice the few inhabitants who are outside scurrying into their huts as you approach, and soon the central street is utterly deserted, apart from the few fallen petals that dance madly in the blustering wind. You approach the only tavern, where a blistered and cracked sign creaks on rusty hinges. You can just make out the name of the inn, the Horned Satyr. It seems that the place was at one time more prosperous than it is now. Trailing woodbine hangs over a broken trellis that once must have shaded summertime drinkers. Stools lie broken and lichen-covered in a backyard where a fierce dog howls and leaps at you from the extremity of its chain. The whole place feels blighted and depressing.
nice place.
Let's perk it up.
What are you talking about? It looks
Go
dilapidated.
We're definitely a long way from home.
It's a sorry state of affairs that our peasants live in such squalor.
Well, let's check out the inn, shall we? See if we can talk to the innkeep.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else seems to have scarpered at the sight of you for some reason, but it's an inn's job to be open. You push your way in and find yourselves in a cold, dust-filled parlour. Your eyes meet those of 4 taciturn, grim-featured men who are sat round a table. They gesture for you to sit next to them.
Yeah, I'll take a seat.
Yeah. And follow in and sit down.
They'll go buy a round. I'll flip some silver.
The innkeep brightens slightly at the sight of a silver coin, and hustles his extremely skinny and sort of sunken-cheeked daughter to scurry and bring you some ale. So great big wooden tankards are set in front of each of you, but it tastes bitter, as if it's been brewed with weeds instead of good hops. Yeah, a really bitter taste, like licking your fingers after you've been pulling weeds out the garden.
Oh,
One of the drinkers, seeing you grimace at the beer's harsh taste, talks to you, Becca. Aye, it's not always been so with the ale of Erawan. Once it was the sweetest drink in all the Vale of Shadows. But now it's tainted by the curse of an evil hobgoblin that dwells in yonder forest. He gestures towards the forest and then makes some kind of weird folk gesture as if to ward off evil.
Oh, would that be Gallows wood? Would it?
Aye. And he makes the sort of sunburst gesture again.
That's a sorry tale.
All our meat and drink is befouled. Hens drop shells full of muck. Cows yield black goop instead of milk. The very well is cursed by this creature's breath. 2 children we've had born to us this last year. One had 6 fingers on his left hand. The other had no eyes, just webs of skin over the sockets. That's the children and young women the goblin didn't spirit away. He sighs and takes a big pull on the ale.
Oh dear, that's terrible, isn't it? Perhaps we can help
evil
you.
magic.
Well, what brings you here with your colourful clothes and your strange accents?
Well, help, but it seems to get your help, we might actually wish to get rid of this which befalls you.
Our help? What could we possibly help you with?
I look over to the leader. Let him speak that.
so, yeah. I've been quiet because I'm letting everyone else have a chance because I tend to talk a lot. We come in search of the crystal. Got the name of it already.
Right.
The crystal.
What? I shall physically throw myself over and give Alan a big hug and physically wrestle him to the ground. I'm gonna make a strength roll. This is I'm gonna attack him. Right.
Who?
Right. Rolled a 3 to hit. I'm gonna
Okay.
grab him, wrestle him to the ground.
What's Elaine's defense though?
16.
Okay.
No, yes, 16.
So is that still a hit? I imagine it is with the roll of a 3.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just allow it. It's
Okay.
fine.
Has Becca got the highest strength? I would imagine so.
What's my attack is 19. Yeah, strength
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. Is 15 higher than Elaine's strength?
Yes.
Okay.
I got 14.
So you're immediately taken by surprise and thrown to the ground.
What is the meaning of this, woman?
Shut up! Don't talk about that crystal, you fool! Right, and I pretend sort of a playful wrestling is taking place. Perhaps even amorous foreplay. Don't mention the bloody crystal.
Fine.
Whatever you do, don't mention the crystal. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
Fine. You've caught me off guard. I should learn better.
You are strange indeed. But what could we possibly help you with?
Knowledge of your lands. We may have questions that need to be answered, but first we will gain your trust.
There's precious little, but he looks at you and considers. Very well. My name's Eldron. I'm chief of this village. That's Gond, keeper of the inn. There's Smilch and Garfas, my advisors. If you can help, we've been setting aside what little money we've been able to scrape together to pay any heroes that would dare enter the forest and rid us of old Ned the Hobgoblin. We've managed over the years to put together 20 crowns. We'll give you the lot if you can rid us of that hobgoblin, and any help we can possibly tender to you.
Seems like a fair price. What say you, my companions?
Well, if this
Shouldn't we really do this with the kindness of our own hearts? I mean, I'll whisper, we are getting paid anyway.
Well,
I shall pick myself up off the floor and in flamboyant gesture and say, perhaps you're not aware of us. We are mighty heroes. Songs are sung, sagas are writ. From Clyster to Pheromane.
Speak for yourselves. When a job needs to be done, a token gesture must be made.
We have not heard of you, I'm afraid. Your stories have not made their way to Erawan.
The heroes of Maidensvale? Lots of stories.
Yeah, we didn't really... We only saved one village and then sort of just became obsessed with, like, becoming lords and making money.
As so many people do.
Well, it would be rude not to accept your gift. But we are here. We will make do. We will conquer it for you.
Well,
where is this evil?
In the Gallows Wood. Since evil returned to this land, it's become a twisted place, a mystic place, no longer fully of this world, no longer fully of the next. It's full of all manner of unnatural magics. We dare only pick at the sides when we need wood or berries or whatever else. It seems every day someone else is lost to the village. If the Duke didn't demand so much of us, we'd probably up sticks and move, and if we weren't so poor. Still, if you won't accept our money, at least accept our hospitality. There's no need for you to leave till tomorrow. We've endured Ned for Lord knows how many years. We can endure him a little longer. So, Gond, feed 'em, water 'em, give 'em your best beds, and tomorrow they can brave the Gallows Wood. And God willing, we'll all be spared old Ned's depredations.
Nice. I'm gonna wait until we're not actually being overheard.
Yep.
And then just bring up why can't I speak of the crystal?
Well, I mean, Becca is not the sharpest tool in the box, but
Aren't
she
we sharper
does.
than Elaine?
Well,
She does understand that that Milano described this as perhaps the most valuable thing in the Western Hemisphere at this moment. It's feasible that we are not the only people looking for it.
might I suggest that the reason why the evil is here in this land is perhaps because this crystal has been befouled? Maybe by getting this crystal and fixing the problem, their troubles will go away.
Seems reasonable.
So,
Also-
by asking to help them find the crystal and fix it, might be within the a good story for them on the reason why we're here to try and fix this part of the land. If they know of the legend, then they might believe that we're here to do just that.
But we're not here to fix it. We're here to find the crystal and take it away back to Pheromane.
Well, you don't have to tell them that part.
And you don't have to do that part.
You might not even know the value of the crystal.
Right. But we do need to find the place where the evil, where the crystal was laying to cast away these, or cast the hordes to block these evils. Perhaps we might be able to use it in that correct way anyway.
Yes, I didn't mean to offend Sir Elaine. It's just we just can't trust everyone that we meet. Right? We keep our own business. We keep our own counsel. Yep.
And this is a land we're not familiar with either.
No.
Seems reasonable.
It's also concerning that their dukes never actually sent anyone into the woods to try and deal with the this creature either. He's let the village suffer for so long. They've never once mentioned that the dukes tried to actually help them.
Well, it's cursed, isn't it? The wood is cursed. No one goes in there.
Yeah.
That's just because they're simpletons.
So
They believe every evil that they hear.
The innkeeper's skinny daughter, Clothilda, serves you a sorry meal of soup that's mostly cabbage water and stale bread. But yeah, it fills a hole, I guess. When you're finished with that, you're shown to your own room where you can finish your discussions and sleep for the night. This is their best room, but it's cheerless and drafty and has thin straw mattresses on bare wooden boards on the floor. Not exactly the height of luxury that you've become used to.
Goose down for the beds back home. Hey.
Big sacks full of live geese.
This pillow is lumpy.
This pillow is moving.
Honk. So, is there any more discussion you feel that you need to have, or do you want to bed down for the night and get ready to set out?
Well, yes, I mean, Brother Albus mentioned the Duke. Yeah, so perhaps if there's a liege lord here, would be churlish not to introduce ourselves, but we don't want to tell him what we're doing here. That's for certain.
Maybe ask the leader of the village how much contact they have with their liege lord, and what he's like before we try to introduce ourselves, possibly.
Yeah, I doubt we even have permission to be in this land, do we?
Exactly.
What, over on? We just rocked up on a
What?
boat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well, we didn't exactly come with an invading army, so it's not that bad.
Well, I mean, the five of us. I mean, we could overthrow governments. The five of us.
That's true.
Especially with your
Men-
battle elk.
Women in tights.
If Baron Elaine goes one-on-one with somebody, that's dangerous.
That last session.
Right. So you sleep as best you can. Actually, this kind of harks back to simpler times, and you have, not that bad a night's sleep until you're woken extremely early before the sun has even risen by the banging and thumping of Clothilda preparing for another day's trade, such as it is, in the inn. And all that clattering and banging and thumping wakes you up. There's no light from the window. It's very early morning. The lamps are all out. The sky is still dark, except for the bright moon, which through the small windows at least gives you a little light. You hear the back door open as Clothilda goes out to fetch some water from the well. And then suddenly there is a scream.
We rush
Just
up.
immediately jump up and run outside.
Yeah. Grab my sword in my undies.
Yep. The rest of you following suit, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So you all charge immediately towards the scream, as is your heroic idiom. As you burst out of the door onto the street, almost falling over each other in your eagerness, you see a bizarre sight in the moonlight. Clothilda's thin white legs are sticking out of a beer barrel and waving frantically. A spindly hobgoblin with a tasselled cap is rolling her away up the hill at a natural speed towards the forest.
It's a good thing I brought my bow. Knock an arrow.
Okay. The innkeeper bursts out of another door. The devil! Ned's taken my daughter!
Oh no.
And he's still rolling away. Do you want to take a shot then?
Yes.
How far does it-
How far is he? Yeah.
Quite a long way and moving at unnatural speed, as I said. So probably extreme range for the bow.
I was wondering if he was in spell range, but probably not. All right.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. Your arrow hurtles up the street towards the goblin and seems to strike the air about a foot away from his body, and the haft of the arrow breaks and tumbles away.
Ah, I saw that before. Some sort of magical barrier. We have to get after her.
And at a natural speed, he disappears into the cover of the forest, which, as we said earlier, grows right up to the edge of the village. However, in using his magic to escape, he's left a faint trail of magic, which you can see snaking through the moonlit, unseasonable frost on the ground as a pale, milky glow.
She'll follow
Us.
the magic.
Everyone,
yes.
gear up. Set off to run immediately.
Rush back to the room, gear up. Yeah.
Gond follows you, paying no attention to the fact that you're all getting dressed and everything, and addresses Elaine as the obvious leader. Please, you got to get her back before something terrible happens to her.
Don't worry, we will.
There's just one last thing. Duke Darian, who rules these lands, he sends a ghostly carriage out into the woods every day. It said that anyone bold enough to seek an audience with the Duke only has to get in the carriage, and they'll be taken off to the castle, fast as lightning. But if you see that carriage, for the love of God, stay away from it. The Duke is an evil man, in league with evil men from other lands around here. That's why he won't help us. It's why we have to come to you for help. And I warn you to stay away from him.
Right. Kill him on sight. Got it.
Right. Once you're geared up, still in a sort of panic and state of shock, Gond will lead you to the southern edge of the village and points at an old trail that leads into the woods beneath the boughs and branches of the trees. It's more like an animal path than a proper path, and you can see this milky glow from the hobgoblin's magic winding away into the woods. There, God help you. I'll get the priest to say prayers for you.
Oh, thanks. We've got our own priest.
Damn sight more useful at that. Okay, and he drags over a log and sits on it, seemingly content to wait here until you return, if you return.
I was going to grab our kit, take horse, and
Yeah. The trail looks a little too narrow and tangled. You'll actually be slower if you go on horseback. Should be all right leading mules if you want to take your mules with you, but otherwise, probably best to leave the war horses and that behind.
We should go on foot.
It's up to you, but just letting you know. And this is time sensitive.
Anything to slow us down is not good.
okay, I'll give Gond a gold crown. So here, look after our horses. If you're busy, kind.
For this?
Round. Wow.
Yes, my lord. Sorry, my lady.
You now own me.
Yes.
A month's rent.
Yeah.
Peasant wages is something like 3 copper pence a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do the math. It's a lot.
These are expensive horses.
Yeah, they are expensive horses. Yeah, it's hard to get a battle elk outside of the Howling Waste.
It is.
It wasn't easy. Okay. What's your battle order? Who's in front?
I shall take the forward. No, I'm just kidding.
Is Cesora there?
Yes.
You've been quiet.
Oh, yeah, uncharacteristically quiet.
Yeah, do you want to take point? As is your
Yes,
one?
you understand. Get my
Okay.
crossbow and take point.
Okay, so Cesora in the lead. Then Elaine?
Okay.
Yes? No? I'm
Yeah.
guessing you.
Usually I take point because, like, if anything hits me, I've got the most chance of, like, shrugging it off.
Yeah, but Cesora can sneak stealthily ahead and scout is the idea, I think.
That's a good idea.
So
Okay,
then-
yeah, that makes sense.
So then you could have Abbas and Keridin in the middle, and then Becca bringing up the rear, in case of pig trees or ham bushes or whatever they are. Right. Okay.
I will be in the middle, not the forward, not the first. I will not be 2, nor will I be 4, but I will be 3. No, I was just kidding.
Damn it.
A little backwards.
Okay. The sky was starting to glow with a little bit of light as you entered the forest, but the sheer thickness of the leaf coverage and the sort of dense mist and drifting dust beneath the trees makes it like night again as you descend beneath. You're soon deep in the forest. Soon you can no longer see the edge of it or even truly be sure without a compass which direction you're going. Ancient oak trees soar above your heads into the grey pre-dawn sky. Huge black crows caw at you mournfully from the boughs. A thick ground mist steams about you, but when and where it clears, you can see the marks of the barrel in a trail through the morning dew on the grass. 2 miles or so to the south, just before you entered the trees, you thought you saw a slender black tower rising up above the roof of the forest. After about half a mile of travel, the path you're following, the barrel marks and the slowly fading milky glow, enters a clearing. Mist hangs here like a blanket, and your visibility is reduced to the range of torchlight. Now, Sizora was going on ahead, wasn't he?
Yep.
Can Sizora make a stealth roll, please? Well, actually, I have to make perception. What's your stealth?
22.
22.
Oh.
So, no, it's you that makes the roll. Hang on. Okay. Take 9 away from your stealth and roll.
3.
Okay. Right, so you creep forward ahead of the others, with them following up behind. You can hear them clanking and crunching twigs and things behind you. And you creep into this small clearing. Scouting about it, amongst the mist, sort of leaning, sort of sitting on a tree stump, is a sad-looking figure swathed in bandages and occasionally moaning slightly. He holds his breath and cants his head, listening as if he can hear the others coming.
Does he look familiar?
No.
Right. Do the vowel tracks go into the clearing, or do they go around from the clearing?
They go into the clearing and presumably through it, but the mist makes it hard to follow the trail.
Well, I'm just going to stay put where I am right now, waiting for the others to catch up.
Yeah. Do you want to go back and report to them that there's someone here? Or?
No, I'm waiting for them to come up to me, rather than me trying back. I'm going to stay point, stay hidden, wait for them to catch up with me, and then discuss what I've seen when they catch up with me.
All right. So the rest of you sort of reach the area where the path opens up into this clearing. As of yet, this mysterious figure hasn't noticed you, and you catch up with Sizora.
Why have you stopped?
We may have something up ahead. We may have a trap up ahead. I've got a funny feeling about this because there's someone there who I've not recognised up front, and I'll describe how he's dressed, how you say, "Trust up, James."
Yeah. So covered in bandages, wearing sackcloth clothing, and groaning and holding himself.
And he heard you guys, but didn't hear me. Thank you very much. And I look at Selene.
What do you think? You may have seen something.
No, he heard you coming. He didn't
I
hear
reckon
anything else.
you may have seen the
heard the
goblin.
hobgoblin.
We should.
How high up is he, James?
How high up is he?
Yeah.
He's just sat on a tree stump, so he's at ground level, normal human height.
Does he look humanoid, or is he a human?
He's covered in bandages, but you think a mummy is frightfully unlikely in the woods.
Could be a leper. Could be a leper.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. Sounds like a leper.
Sizora. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was going to joke and say Mumra, but yeah, keep going.
Sizora, you should sneak unseen behind him and keep watch, and I'll walk out to confront him.
Right, I'll go round the camp. Is he clockwise or anti-clockwise, James?
He's towards the middle of the clearing, actually.
Keep your crossbow trained on him.
Right, going to try and work my way around him, so I've got my back turned. I'm at the right sort of opportunity. Knock him out
Okay.
with a crossbow bolt to the head.
Seriously?
No, I don't know if he's a fucking friend or foe. I'm just told to get rid of him.
Okay.
What? You gonna shoot him?
Yeah, he's gonna ask if he's friend or foe after he's dead. that's what I heard.
Oh, I said keep your crossbow trained on him, not shoot him.
I'm only joking, James. I'm not going to shoot
Okay.
him. I'm going to keep my crossbow pointed at his head. So if there's any sign of any hostilities towards Sir Lane, he's getting taken.
Yeah. Okay. Right, so you get into position behind him and wait. And the rest of you then advancing? Or are you talking to him? Who's doing what now? You've got him covered. Now what?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk out of the clearing and approach him.
I'll stay off his left shoulder.
Okay. Right. When he's sure that there's someone there and approaching, he stands up and a bell tolls around his neck. It looks like an old cowbell or something.
You are a leper.
Yes.
Hello, leper.
Hello, healthy person.
Fuck me, Stardew. Oh, God.
Who's there?
I am Sir Lane of. Wait, we're in a foreign land. Layback. Sir Lane of Lay.
A lane of layback.
Black.
Of lieback.
Layback. Lieback.
Lie back and think of Ellisland. Yeah.
Of better times.
I am Gerald. A leper.
I
As you-
suspected much upon seeing your bell.
Yes, you're wise and discerning, my lord. These are your friends?
Indeed. I would just like to stand and chat, but we are in a time-critical mission. I was going to ask if you had seen a hobgoblin rolling a barrel nearby, but it appears you haven't seen much lately.
Did you hear it?
I do my best not to interfere with the things of the forest, and even the beasts here won't so much as touch me so long as I keep quiet. So, alms for a beggar? Improve your standing in the eyes of God by offering alms to a poor beggar?
Of course. I'll take out Florin and flick it into his. I'm assuming he's cupping his hand, so flick
Yeah,
it.
he's got a wooden bowl as well, so he holds
Yeah,
that
flick
for
it to his bowl.
And perhaps your generous companions might also offer a coin to a poor beggar.
I'll pay for the horses, me. You can shell out.
I'll put a florin in the bowl as well.
Horses are important, my lady. Far more important than a poor, old, decrepit leper, months away from death, who's known so little pleasure in his life. A horse can pull a plough. What use is a man? What use is a man? Rattle, rattle.
Guilt trip.
It's little leg of the guilt on thick.
Perhaps
Lay your guilt on me. Lay your guilt on me.
Brother Albus, you're up.
He's already paid him.
Here's an extra one from my friend. There you go.
You were kind and generous.
Wait, can the priest not heal disease?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Ma-
No major miracles.
My lady, you dress as one of the cunning folk. Surely you can spare a coin.
She'll pull out a florin and give it to him.
And he doesn't know that Caesura's there, so
He doesn't know what?
he doesn't know that Caesura's there, hiding with a crossbow bolt aimed at his head. Thank you kindly, and may the god look kindly on your soul. And he sits back down on his stump and counts the coins and looks at them.
I don't suppose, but we must go quickly. We are in a time-critical endeavor. But you didn't happen to hear anyone go past?
There was a rumbling
before.
sound. I assume this barrel and the hobgoblin, old Ned that lives somewhere in these benighted woods. Like I say, try to keep to myself for the most part. I think he just went further down the trail. There's only one way through. You can't miss it.
And we shall follow.
Okay.
That's good.
Off to find Ned.
A moment, my lords. Looking at all this coin you've given me, you've helped me. I'll help you. In my youth, I served a powerful magician named Fabian, who lived in the tower you may have seen. He used to fight back the forces of evil that had come to dwell in the forest, until his strength faltered. On his deathbed, he gave me this parchment and this stone. He fishes them out from his diseased rags. He told me if I ever met a band of heroes who had the courage to stand against evil and a generous heart, I should pass these treasures into their keeping. I was healthy then, but I know what he meant, and I see that sword on your belt, Sword of Valandar. This must be for you. Come, take it. He sets the parchment and the stone down on the ground ahead of him and shuffles back to his tree stump.
Do you want to touch anything he's touched?
I was just about to say, brother.
Abbas.
Abbas. Is he you're the guy who's good with this stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell if something's enchanted.
Yeah.
No. Just
I can't tell if something's diseased, though.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
What we can do is take out a cloth and grab it on the other side of the cloth, and then maybe we can wait some time to see if it cleans.
Disintegrates.
Yeah.
Cast ray of Lysol on it.
I bet.
But it did some medieval bleach.
We must sniff it. Sniff the bleach. It will help.
Wave some herbs at it, and say a prayer to St. Agnes or something. Yeah.
Get me
Smoke
some
it.
lichen or something,
It'll be fine. Life expectancy's only 40 anyway, so what's a couple of years? All right.
I'm 40
It's Father Maleficus is that I'm mistaken.
So we pick it up. We pick it up and take it with us.
Okay. So having a quick look over it, Brother Abbas and Kerodon, the stone seems very slightly magical, like it's 1/2 of something magical. But there's nothing like inherently magical in it. It's like it's a trigger or something. Parchment. Someone's giving some feedback there. Parchment has an old heroic poem written on it. Fabian invites noble, daring men. Yesterday the other warriors eagerly rode their horses ever nearer the hideous enemy, exhausted yet exalted, men of undaunted trust, hall heroes against nameless darkness, swords wielded over rising doom. At least that's what it seems to say.
We should ponder on this later. We should head off quickly.
Can you cut and paste that into chat?
Yes, I can't cut and paste it. I'd have to type it. So, all right, let me just do that quickly. You can have a brief conflab and plan while I do that.
Yeah.
Perhaps this stone is a key to the tower he once dwelled in.
Yeah.
We shall see when we come upon something that seems locked. We shall try it.
Yeah.
Maybe the crystal's in the tower.
Perhaps. We should. Well, discuss that later. So, other than that, anybody have any tactics that you'd like to do? Scout still ahead?
Yep.
direction's still the same?
Yeah. Okay. So you carry on. Right. Right. You follow after the trail and emerge into a clearing, which seems to form a crossroads. The mist isn't as thick here anymore.
A barrel should have made, especially being wheeled so fast. Is there a trail?
There are the occasional scrapes and scratches, but it's being moved by some sort of unnatural power. So there's something weird going on there.
And there's magic in the air.
The sun is now rising, finally, outside, as you continue to give pursuit. What few birds there are, mostly crows, sound their dawn chorus. So after about another half hour of trudging along the path with the sky lightening, it's the chill of the night starting to wear off, the light amongst the trees has improved slightly, and you can begin to see the pale yellow circle of the autumn sun struggling to dissipate the ghostly mists. You enter a small grassy clearing, which forms this crossroads, and then notice a familiar-looking barrel lying abandoned in the middle of it. Then you hear a shrill, familiar cry of distress coming from a hollow, lightning-struck oak tree standing in the middle of the clearing, and you see Clothilda's blonde head poke up over the top of it. Her cry is stifled instantly with a grey-green hand over her mouth, and something pulls her down into the trunk again. For a brief second, you see the face of her kidnapper. A grey-green-skinned hobgoblin peers at you from under puckered, hooded eyes, his sharp yellow teeth sticking out from his lips in a malevolent grin. Then he's gone, down into the tree.
Quick, after him! I'm gonna just immediately run her.
Yeah. Now, Cesora was slightly ahead, and he didn't see this, and none of it moved until you got there, and then you're just charging immediately, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about the rest of you?
Following behind.
Okay. Right.
I shall wear for counterattack.
Okay, so you sort of wheel about to cover your friends as they run towards the tree. Right. Who has the highest reflexes? Cesora was scouting, so it's been caught out a bit by this.
Could be me, actually.
No, yours is more like a wind just going in the background. It's not you're making all that noise. It's somebody else.
I think it's me. I think I have the highest reflexes. Me and Cesora.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the audio problem he heard earlier. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, I think you do. Okay, so yeah, with the others trailing behind you, you charge up to the tree. As you sort of wheel around it, there's this sort of broken, cracked opening to the thing, and you see this hobgoblin stood right there with his dagger out, and with Clothilda sort of huddled behind him, and he hisses and menaces you with the dagger.
Sorry, cut out a bit there. Could you say it again?
Okay, so you come around the tree, this hollow oak, which has this big crack in it. So you round the corner, and you see the hobgoblin stood there, sort of hissing at you, wielding a dagger, and behind him, Clothilda, sort of gagged and bound, and making noises in distress.
Yeah, I'm just going to draw my sword and immediately hack at this hobgoblin. I don't like it.
Right, you bring your sword down hard on his head. It shimmers and disappears as the illusion lifts. and instead your sword plunges into a sort of straw dummy covered in fungus. Roll a d20 under your reflexes.
A 1. That's the
Okay.
lowest I could have rolled.
You manage to hurl yourself back, covering your mouth as you do so, and the rest of you manage to recoil back from this greenish grey cloud of spores that slowly settle. 'Twas a trap.
Hobgoblins! I hate them!
Yeah, this is the second time you've tangled with an hobgoblin, isn't it?
Yes.
Bastards.
Right. That's right. Hobgoblins from a different world. Different kinds of hobgoblins.
Yeah.
Fuzzy beast.
Hobgoblins in Dragon Warriors are like
They're more
tricky and it's like they lay traps and
Yeah.
they have like illusion spells and stuff.
Redcaps, aren't they?
Yeah, they're more like fairy tale goblins.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, so there's just this straw dummy, which clearly he set as a trap for anyone that might follow him. There are, however, a couple of scraps of what you think is Clothilda's dress. You're hard pressed to remember. And away from this blasted oak, paths wind into the forest, east and west.
There's no trial, is there?
The barrel's here. The barrel was actually here. It seems to have been abandoned at this point. So there might be a trail, but it's much harder to follow.
It seems likely that she has been taken into the forest.
Now, Elaine and Becca have tracking, don't they? So if you can make rolls under your perception, please.
No.
No, I failed as well.
Okay. All right. You're not sure which way it could have gone.
Brother Abbess, do you have any sense as to which way they went?
Let me meditate on that.
We do not have the time. We should just head off quickly.
Let the man think, Elaine.
Every second wasted is another second this fiend will have its way with Rutilda, I think was her name.
Clothilda. We can't run around
Clothilda.
the woods like we can't run around these dangerous woods.
At least I got the what's it called?
The name, right?
Simile pattern to it.
Do you want me to roll it, James, or do you want to roll it?
What are you trying to do? Use your
Premonition
premonition
for the
power.
vibe.
Yeah, so that's
The 37 under 37.
37%. Yep. So roll and tell me what you get.
25.
Nice. Okay, you sort of gesture to one path, you gesture to the other path. From the western path, you get a malevolent sense of magic, but far distant. And from the eastern path, you think you sense traces of the hobgoblin's magic. And something else which you can't quite put your finger on, something wild. But you're pretty certain the hobgoblin went that way.
I can definitely sense something magical to the west, but it's very distant. But the eastern path, he's definitely gone that way. But there's something else there as well. I can't quite put my finger on it. It just feels wild.
And we should go east. We could turn
Yes.
back and go west after we've dispatched him.
Yep. Never
James,
been, brother.
which direction is the tower in, by the way, from where we are? roughly?
Just a sec.
I just wonder if that was the western direction. That was all.
If you've got your bearings right, The tower is southwest of your position.
Right, okay. Thank you.
So you follow the trail as best you can. Here and there, our knight and barbarian pick up the trail and see tracks. A mix of smaller goblin feet, drag marks, and larger human feet. In boots, even. Not Clothilda's, you think. It's about another hour, maybe, of wending your way through the forest. Occasionally you're catching glimpses of large black wolves between the trees, sort of pacing, following you, but not foolhardy enough as to try their luck as of yet. You find a sign nailed to one of the trees here. It just says, warning. And nothing more helpful or useful than that. Just an old rune marked on it. Not one of any power, but one that just is a threat, a land marker. The trail, however, definitely goes along this path, beyond the sign.
Let's carry on.
Dude, I would not let a sign deter us.
It'd have to at least be a gazebo.
Yeah. Unless it's a no entry sign, in which case.
The path here seems to be well used, and you trudge on as the sun struggles up over the trees and shines dimly through the mist. Soon you come to the notice, and then past it. You wonder how many trespassers in this land are literate and can read, particularly in this darkly enchanted forest. The mist grows thicker as you pass on, as it seems to be varying all the way through the trees, until you can hardly see a metre in front of you, and lamplight doesn't really help. It's almost like it's night again. Soon you emerge into a fresh clearing, full of large hillocks and tufts of grass. You see lamplight, even though it's day, pouring from a window set into the wall of a low wooden cabin in front of you, and you can smell wood smoke in the air. The path wends past this hut and leaves the clearing to the south.
Am I still taking point?
Yeah, I'm assuming you're going ahead, and I'll bring that up when it becomes, when there's a point. But by and large, you're going to be staying, hiding, and watching.
Yeah, is there any windows at all in the cabin?
Yes, there's a couple of shuttered windows. You probably got close enough to have a peek in. What's your stealth?
22.
22. Yeah, you got close enough to have a peek in. There's a prematurely aged woman, not too old, but something has worn on her, probably living in this horrendous place, working, preparing some food over a pot in the hut.
Does it look like she's chopping up the barman's daughter?
No.
Oh, right.
Don't eat the candy.
Does she look alone, or does she have kids in a cage?
No, there's no kids in a cage, but it doesn't look like she lives here alone. There's various accoutrements and clothing and various things hanging around. Like a rather large man also lives here.
Okay, well, I'll scout back to tiptoe back to the others. One obese woman with a pot, possibly not alone, but she was the only one in there, so possibly two.
Well, she lives here. She must know of this forest. She could have information as companion to our.
You want to go up and talk to her? I'll cover your back. If you not go up there and knock on the door and say we have a doctor for your arrest, unless you give us information,
I'm going to arrest her. Just talk to her.
Well, you can go and talk to her. I'm not a talker. I'm an assassin, mate.
Okay.
I'm not a talker. You're the one who claims to be such and such, such and such, or such and such. I'm just a hard go. She,
Brother Albus, we don't know you well, but are you a good talker? Are you a people person?
I'd like to think so. So yeah, my lady, yes.
True.
Right.
A monk, a man of God, might be less.
intimidating.
Probably less
Yeah.
threatening than a man wearing plate mail.
Disarming, yes. Yep.
Plus, I could always try reading her mind at short range.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So,
Yes. So
I'll get into position, James, to cover Brother Albus.
Okay.
we'll be right outside. If you just holler if you want any help. Right.
Okay.
I'll walk sort of like with him though, like close by.
I was going to say, shall I stand next to you with you?
You may as well hold his hand while you're at it. Hop, skip, and jump. Hop, skip, and
More than one person might make him skittish. So.
just
Yeah,
send the monk. Just send the monk.
Yeah.
All right. So, brother
Tell him
Abbas.
I'm your bodyguard.
Brother Abbas approaches the door. Can you roll a d20 under your perception, please?
Yep. Yes, I got a 5 on my perception 6.
Okay.
Wow.
As you approach the front door, the mist is so wet and kind of dank anyway that it's making all your senses deadened. But as you approach the door, you catch a brief whiff of a foul smell wafting around from the side of the hut.
Does it have any particular familiarity to it? Just a foul smell.
Rotten meat.
Rotten meat, okay. I just briefly turn around to my fellow adventurers and just waft my nose. Hold it like.
And then
No,
are you going to knock?
Yeah,
or-
I'll knock.
Right. You hear a gasp inside and a rattle and a clang and a curse as she seems to drop something. Then more rattling and sort of gathering of wits, and then she opens the door just a crack and peeks out. Go away, quick!
I'm sorry to startle you, dear lady, but I'm a mere pilgrim in these woods. What seems to be the problem?
Don't lie to me. There's no pilgrims in these woods. Run before he gets back.
Who? Your husband?
My husband.
Your son? Is he a violent man?
He's mad. The forest's driven him mad. If he sees anyone but me, he'll kill him. And I won't have a priest's blood on my hands. So please, go before he comes back.
Do you not want my protection?
With all due respect, brother, you're a slight man compared to my nut.
Well, I might have some help with me, just in case.
I've seen him kill more than one person. Please, I implore you, let me do but one good deed and have you leave before he takes his axe to you.
Okay, which is the safest route past your house to where we can
go back the way you came and leave the forest?
I can't. I have a mission to fulfill.
He wanders as he will, so just pass on and pray you don't see him. Maybe the mist will keep you from each other.
Okay, thank you for the invitation, good lady. And I'll slip her a florin under the through the door.
Say a prayer for me, brother.
And you, good lady, I will.
It on.
Right, and I'll walk back to everybody else.
Okay.
The lady's very afraid. Turns out her husband has been driven mad by the forest, and he kills people just willy-nilly.
And let me guess, she serves them up, yeah. And I'm the goat.
Well, there is a sort of a nasty smell coming from the other side of their house.
Well, she was cooking when I went up to go and look at that cabin. She was cooking something fishy.
I don't think it was fish.
Saracen, do you want to have a look around, see what it is?
Definitely rotting meat of some kind. I just hope it's not what I think it is.
What the bar keeps got them?
Human flesh.
Well, at least she's
Hey.
surviving. Main thing.
Did she say who or what her husband was?
No, she just said he was called Nut or Knut, and that he's a very violent man and that he's lost his mind because the woods have drove him insane. Just a very, very large fellow, from what she could tell me. She didn't say like he, brown hair from his chest and goes, starts howling at the moon or anything like that.
Then we should probably stay out of his way. If he
Judging by the
roams these
clothes,
forests.
would be a giant.
But she's terrified of him, that's clear.
And perhaps the rotting meat you smell is the people that he has murdered?
Maybe Seradim, if someone went round and looked. That's why I Seradim, why don't you go? You're quiet, you'd be able to... I'll just go. Oh, damn it.
Why don't we all
blasphemy.
Who's got the biggest nose?
Okay, so holding each other's hands because you're all cowardly devils. You
I'm not coward.
I wasn't. I just want other people to have a chance to do stuff.
Well, okay, so who's going to check? Or are you not going to check and say, nope, better off not knowing and carry on?
If nobody
go
goes,
check.
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Abbas volunteered. Okay, so Brother Abbas steps around the side of the hut and is met with the following scene. There are piles and piles and piles of cut, corded, and stacked wood. More than you would ever need in 10 years of running a hearth non-stop in this house. But even worse, intermingled amongst these stacks of wood are portions of flesh that have been cut to the same sort of size as the logs for the fire. Some of them have rotted down to bone in all this time. There are flies buzzing around. There are maggots crawling everywhere, all over the ground, up the walls, onto the roof of the hut even. There's God knows how many bodies cut up into these pieces and stacked here. And strewn about the other side of the grim wood pile are scraps of cloth, sort of leather straps, rusted weapons. The accoutrements that whatever these people were wearing were just sort of torn away and tossed there. Even more grimly, it seems that he carves wood as well. So on the wood pile here and there, you'll find little items carved out of wood and other items carved from bone. Little depictions of stags and badgers and bears, and quite well done, but sinister nonetheless.
I'll put the sleeve of my robe to my mouth and my face and quickly run back to the others. It's as I feared, my friends. That's this rotting meat back there. Human flesh. And more wood than I've seen that you'd need to burn in a fireplace till you're ready to go serve the gods in heaven.
Then we should probably stay out of this man's way.
Perhaps
Yeah.
not
He
a
definitely likes to carve as well. Seems quite a talented carver, both in human bones and on the wood. But his depictions are rather dark, shall I say.
I would like to cure him of whatever malady this forest has cursed him with, but we do not have. That is not what we are here for. It is for another time.
It is
Unless
possible.
Now
He may
we
not
should
be a
avoid
man.
him. Let's continue.
Has everyone agreed to move on?
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So you follow the trail and the path that the hobgoblin seems to have worn through here. And after a relatively short period this time, you emerge out into a much larger clearing, more like a glade. But it has an oppressive, evil feel to it, even more than the rest of the forest. The mist is extremely thick all around, and you can barely see the person in front of you. You're almost having to do sort of hand on shoulder to keep in sight of one another. And the woods is just turned into indistinct shadows, which your minds conjure into all manner of evils. Without warning, the tree trunks are no longer hedging you in, and a cool, fresh wind chills your faces, able to sort of scoop down from the top of the forest to reach you. Though you can see little, it seems the path has opened out into a much larger clearing. A moment later, the gentle wind rolls away enough of the fog bank, and the sun boils away enough more of it, to reveal a glade about 100 metres long. A small, trickling stream meanders down the centre of the glade, and a dark mere, about 20 metres across, lies in the middle of it. 3 low mounds can be seen by the mere's edge. The mist seems to hang back at the edge of the wood. A path crosses and recrosses the stream, running down to the mere, and a small, half-rotten boat is moored to the mere's banks. So the rivulet sort of cuts in from the east, heading southwest, crosses the middle of the clearing, where it spreads out into the mere, and then flows away again alongside a path to the southwest. On the opposite bank of the rivulet, there are 2 openings in the trees, so 2 separate pathways, southeast or southwest.
Rivulet. A small stream. Let's look that up. You think you could have crossed this stream?
If you went across the stream, who brought the boat back?
Yeah.
It's not that deep. You could easily wade across it.
And there's the only way across is across this river. There's no other direction.
How wide is the stream, James?
Sorry, one at a time. You could follow on the bank of the river and stay on this side of it if you went southwest, but otherwise you're going to have to cross it. And you're fairly certain the hobgoblin's path crosses the stream. You can see some pretty distinct footprints in the mud.
How wide is it? How wide is it roughly?
The rivulet's maybe 3 meters wide at the widest part. The mere, however, is much wider.
Sorry, I had a phone call come through.
That's right.
So we've moved forward. We have a river.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A rivulet.
Stream. What's a mere?
What the hell is a...
A mere is where it sort of spreads out and flattens out. So it's a
Shallow lake.
yeah. So
Got it. We're like
the
stones and rocks and mud, but it's not really deep.
yeah.
Got it. All right.
You should raid across.
As Becca was at the back, she'll cross last.
Yeah.
Can she have a look at these 3 mounds? They look like, do they look like graves?
While they're discussing, you wander over to take a look at them. Look at the mounds. They're not too far away, so it's not like you're going off to your death or anything.
Teletubbies. Teletubbies.
Did I go below? Oh.
Okay. Yes. So 3 shallow rising mounds. As you approach it, you think for a moment you see the face of a sad, haggard-looking man in the wisps of mist that remain. When you draw back slightly, you're not sure it was there after all. But do you want to press on to the graves?
Brother Abbas.
Yes, my lady.
I think I saw something. Come with me. What they're talking over there?
Certainly.
Okay.
We'll continue.
So you move back to the mounds, and as you both approach, the mist sort of swirls together and forms a ghostly form of this sad-looking man standing over the third mound.
Can you see that, brother?
I can, yes.
Okay, the echo is not me. I had to
No,
double check.
I think it might be me.
I think it is. It might
Yeah,
sort itself
I
out.
keep muting myself when I'm. Yeah, I'm gonna say I keep muting myself when I'm not talking anyway. So
All right, cool.
it shouldn't be.
I think you have two microphones on. Sometimes like a laptop microphone where you have a headphone on, and that's what I usually have to double check.
All right, because I've only got my tablet and the headset I'm using, so.
Strange. Weird. Anyway, it's not too bad, so we'll cope.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, this spectral figure forms above the third mound.
Ghost.
Yes, to brother Abbott, I have no knowledge of the afterlife. We are not dead yet, so is as we proceed, what do you think?
Let me try and speak to it. You who have passed to the beyond the veil, speak to us. Tell us what has happened. Why does your spirit linger here?
You see his lips moving, but his voice is so quiet you can't hear it even at this short distance. You'll have to move closer or use some kind of preternatural ability to hear what it's saying.
Are there any graves on the mounds? Are there any gravestones or anything like that, James?
No, they're just...
They're just unmarked mounds,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
And they're not like big barrow mounds or anything. It's just grave-sized mounds, like heaped soil that's grown over with grass.
I'll move closer and try to hear what the spirit's saying.
Okay. To your boundless surprise, it doesn't immediately try to kill you, and you begin to be able to hear its whisperings. Duke Darian had me, my wife, and my children murdered here. Be my hand of vengeance. Swear to me that you will kill the Duke, or we will kill you. Hello, welcome to my ASMR channel. Just going to rub you. Do they do horror ASMR?
Fuck me sideways.
He says that as he says, "Boom, chicka wow wow, chicka wow."
Pledge to me that you will seek revenge.
How many years has your spirit dwelt here?
Oh God, now you're asking.
If you haven't got it, come on.
What is a year?
Fuck it. Some 20 years.
20 years. I've only recently come to your land, but the villagers just outside of these very woods have told us that the Duke is the same Duke, isn't it, James?
Yep.
Good. I just don't want to say I'm not blowing smoke here. I've heard this is an evil man.
Yes. Darian is evil. He forsakes his duty. He killed my wife, my children. To slay him would be a heroic deed. Now swear. And the mist roils and darkens.
I'm going to pull the magic sword out, but I'm going to hold it by the blade, by the blade, so I'm not not cutting my hand open with it. By the sword, I swear it. He will die by mine or my companion's hands. I swear it.
Okay, the spirit seems to weaken and start to dissipate. My thanks. Dig up my body and take my gauntlet. It will protect you from all harms. And then the spirit disappears and fades away.
We just got a side quest.
Wait. He was killed and buried, and the people didn't loot him?
Noobs.
Nobody comes into the forest, remember?
No, but Duke Tyrion had them killed.
I think, James, does he sort of disappear into the grave where his body would be, so I know which one did he go?
Yes, he does. He's very convenient that way.
It's very...
He drifts back.
Am I the only one that heard all of that conversation? Yes. I was the only one.
Becca may have heard snatches of it.
He heard you pledge yourself to a spirit.
You hear saw me draw the sword. Right, I'll sheathe my blade, and I'll just very gently kneel in front of the grave and just sort of do a holy cross and start digging it up gently.
Okay.
Till I find the gauntlet.
The soil almost seems to be sort of drying out and loosening for you as you dig into it, and eventually you strike bone and rusting remnants of mail and gilt and fairly fine clothes. And then you find this gauntlet. It's a chainmail gauntlet with sections of metal on the rear hand side, and it's been completely untouched by the tarnish and rot that has afflicted everything else.
That usually means that this magical properties.
Does it have 5 sockets for gems, James?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, dear.
Sorry, I had to come up with that. Sorry.
Gauntlet of Erawan.
Oh, fuck.
Don't give him ideas.
Oh, he went that way. I was thinking, the slots from Diablo.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
Okay. So the rest of you are sort of standing around by the mere, deciding how to cross it and everything. The water seems to run clearer all of a sudden, and it's not as deep as you thought it was. You should easily be able to ford this stream.
Do you want me to take point again?
Well, now there's the mere question of which path to take. You're fairly certain the hobgoblin took one of the 2 southern paths. So there's the southeastern one or the southwestern one.
If I remember correctly, it's southwest will lead back to the tower.
But we don't know which path. Exactly.
Let me have a think about it.
Okay, go for it.
You're hoping for a good vibe again?
Yes.
He's
They're consistent,
for
you
good
never know.
vibration.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Good vibration.
3%. There you go.
Okay.
That's 5 yet.
See how your god intervenes. Okay. You sense that either of these paths will take you where you need to go, but the southwestern path feels more dangerous, more deadly, like one you should avoid.
Friends, I think either path will take us where we need to go, but definitely the southwestern part feels the more dangerous. To me, definitely, we should avoid that one. Take the other part, I think.
You feel that is correct way.
It's a nice looking gauntlet there, Brother Abbess.
It is a very shiny looking gauntlet.
Oh yes, I have a tale to tell, by the way. I might have just sworn to poorly murdered man and his family that were murdered by the Duke nigh on 20 years ago, to avenge him and kill Duke Darien. And he's instructed me to use this gauntlet that should actually help protect us from certain evils, he said. But he didn't really go into any great detail.
Gonna say, did it protect him?
Well, it seemed to be the only thing in his grave that wasn't rusted.
It protected his right hand very well.
His right hand was
Well,
his right
that's
hand
all you need.
not rotted? Maybe his right
It's
hand
probably
was
less
unrotted.
decayed. You probably had to tip out a few bits of hand from in there.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so you pass across the mere, sort of wading through it up to your ankles, maybe as deep as your knees. The water's brown from the tannin in the leaves, but it's remarkably clear now. It's the most natural, nice place you've seen in the forest, all things considered. At least once the spectre backed off. Across the other side, where the paths split, there is a gnarled oak with a spear haft sticking out of one side of it.
Well, that's unusual.
Does the spear look man-made, James?
Yes, it does. Let me just see if there's any other special details about it.
And does it look recent?
There's dust settled on it, but it seems untarnished in a similar way to the gauntlet, which would imply that it's magical in some way. All you can see is the haft. You can't see the head of the spear, but it's bound around and around with bright red cord, and the sort of ball on the end of the spear. I don't know what you'd call it, but that seems to be engraved with an old knot-shaped pattern in silver.
What tongue is it in?
What, sorry?
What tongue? What language is it in?
It's not in any language. It's just a pattern, an ancient Erawanish knot, meant to be good luck or something. You think, if sailor talk is to be believed?
Do you want me to pass this out the tree, guys?
Is there any design similarities between the gauntlet and the spear?
The patterns and filigree on the back of the gauntlet seem to match the ball on the end of the spear. Similar sort of hand, similar craftsmanship.
Ooh.
We found the grave of what looked like a nobleman who was murdered. A brother Abbas put his spirit to rest in swearing this vengeance. The gauntlet was in his grave.
Mm-hmm. So the spear could be his as well, you say?
Possibly.
What was left of him was that fine clothes and a well-made mail, and this exquisite-looking gauntlet.
Yeah, but the spear's across the river from where he was.
Eridan, this is your area of expertise, is it not?
Magical, if you wish me to cast a spell for that.
No.
But
I could look at it and see if it's enchanted.
that's what I'm saying. We could cast a spell to see if it's enchanted.
Just use your eyes. I mean, you have... if you wish to take it out of the stump.
We'll take it out.
Okay, who's going to take it out?
It looks like it's in there pretty good, though, right?
Yeah,
It's a strong
I mean, the head is completely within the wood.
Yeah, I'm only 11 strength. I'm sure somebody's stronger than I am, right?
Probably.
I could pull it free, but
Feel free.
from experience, touching magical items is not something I wish to do exactly.
Well,
It
do you
is
want to
a
try
weapon.
using the gauntlet?
Sure. Did you put the gauntlet on?
No, I've still got it. I've I've not worn it yet. So if anyone wants to try pulling it out, maybe they should wield the gauntlet with it.
You put it on, brother. Yeah.
Sounds like a good. Sounds like a good method.
I'm just thinking this noble said he was murdered.
Yes.
Here in the woods by Darian and his men. The spear looks like it's been hurled with tremendous strength, doesn't it? Gone into the tree.
Yeah, tremendous strength, or a death curse, or something.
Yeah, perhaps the last act of a dying man.
Perhaps.
Possibly.
Pull it
Yes.
out. Put on your gauntlet and pull it out.
Okay, I'll put on the gauntlet onto whichever hand it fits. I take it as it's the right one, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I'll give it I'll try and tug it free with my right hand.
You step forward and grasp hold of the spear. As you do so, your foot hits the ground just beneath the tree, between its roots, and crunches through the paper-thin remnants of a skull. And looking down, you see that there are quite a few bones in the grass here. But the spear pulls out as easy as unbuttoning your shirt. You know, it just pulls clear out of the wood, and you're holding this magnificent spear. The tip of it is in the shape of an ivy leaf and seems wickedly sharp. And on either side of it is a coat of arms, which Sir Alain recognises as being the coat of arms of the Duke of Erawan, as was.
Coat of arms of the Duke of Erawan. I knew that myself.
You did. It's a +2 spear.
So why would his spear be out here?
Maybe the man that was murdered by the Duke's men was a retainer or a knight of this man.
All right, who can best use a spear? And it can be hurled, so it's a good ranged weapon.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
Abbas,
everybody can pick up at once.
Well, Abbas took the pledge, so he should probably have the spear.
yeah.
It feels fitting and right. Okay, so let me just add that to the list of stuff. Booty. Right, and then you're going to carry on down the path that the vibe told you to follow.
Yes.
Right. You pass down a short distance, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes of travel. Your stomachs are starting to grumble. It must be getting on towards noon. And off the side of the path, mostly overgrown, you come upon the remnants of an old hut. It seems it's rickety, but it's still in reasonable repair. You know, it'll provide shelter. But it appears disused. The mist clears around here, and there's this old hut in a deserted wooden clearing. It's covered by climbing plants and moss, but seems like there's shelter. The path carries on past it and carries on south. The hut's only about 3 meters across, about 2 meters high, and overgrown and full of cobwebs. Just kind of weird that something hasn't chosen to occupy it.
Are we sure that it does not live here?
I just walk forward and investigate it.
No.
Okay, so Elaine and Kerridan move forward.
Sure.
Yeah, sort of peer in. Don't really see much of anything in here. You knock on the door frame. It's old, slightly mouldy wood, so little bits of it flake off when you knock. and then there's a creak noise from further back inside the hut in the darkness, past all the creepers that have grown in, out of view, like a floorboard creaking under weight.
You think someone's inside?
It sounded like it.
What are the rest of you doing while they're investigating?
I'm watching the rear.
Okay, so keeping an eye on the path. And Cesora? Just
Going
scouting.
to the back. Going around the back.
Okay, so around to the back. And Ian, you doing anything?
I'll go to the back as well.
Okay. So Becca watches the paths. The rest of you sort of circle around the hut. It abuts almost directly into the woods, but there's a lot of broken branches and twigs, like something big has moved through the woods here and broken off a lot of the branches and trampled a lot of the brambles.
How recent does it look?
Not that recent. Things have begun to spring back up and grow again, and there's new green shoots on the branches that were broken. The floorboard at the back, out of sight, creaks again.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
Still no answer. Just more creaking and knocking.
I'll just go inside and investigate.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your evasion?
7.
Okay. Right. Can you roll a d20, 8 or under, please?
D20. No, 16.
Okay, so you and Kerridan are sort of standing at the front, looking in, listening to the creaking and knocking sounds, while the rest of them sort of scout around the back, wondering what the hell. And then you step forward over the threshold. The moment you do, a series of sort of jagged planks erupt from the top of the door and the bottom of the door, and it snaps down like a pair of jaws on you.
Oh, dear Lord.
And
Christ almighty.
slams down on you. The whole hut sort of shifts, moves, sort of shedding dirt, and rises up on 4 legs like tree roots, and continues to bear down this weight on you. Take 1 health point of damage, and you're caught in its jaws. Right, so...
It's a mimic!
We're
Right.
fucked!
That was its surprise turn. So, initiative order. 1 second.
Is this when Baba Yaga comes to life, game?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Right. Cesora first, then. Yeah. So you're at the back of this hut when suddenly you hear this loud slam, like a heavy castle door being slammed, and hear Elaine cry out, and then the whole hut lifts itself up out of the ground on these tree root stump legs.
Do I get shot from behind?
If you want.
Stab the house with a dagger.
Yes, I do. Well, the crossbow back from behind.
Okay. Yeah, you sort of reflexively fire your crossbow bolt. Right. Just roll under your attack to hit, because it's literally the broadside of a barn.
Oh, this is gonna hurt. 1.
So that's a hit.
Oh, wow.
It's going to bypass armor and do double damage, but crossbows aren't going to do much to a wooden hut. So...
Sorry, 1 second.
His
Well.
impersonation of being swallowed.
yes. Vanish off screen. Right. we'll carry on anyway until he gets back. But yeah, the crossbow bolt slams into the wood and goes without really doing it much harm.
Right. Put my crossbow back to where it was, step back, and unsheath me sword.
Okay, you'll have to wait till next turn to swap weapons. Okay.
Yep, no problem.
And now we do need to wait for Jack to get back. Or I can just count him as surprised. Okay, let's skip over him. So we've got stuff to do. Right, Becca's turn. So yeah, you hear this snapping, crashing noise and the twang of a crossbow.
Right, I've my claymore ready.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So I'll rush in and I'll try and hack at one of these legs, these
All right.
tree legs.
Yeah, you charge in and go for it. Just roll under your attack to hit.
4. Yeah, that's a hit.
And is it +3, the claymore?
Yeah.
Okay, so clean through the armor and roll damage.
4, all in. Minimal damage.
Better than a kick in the tits.
Yeah.
Right, so your sword carves into its leg, and unlike the sort of dry wood of its body that seems to be made of tougher, sterner stuff, when you split the wood here, it's green and sap starts to ooze out. Okay. Right,
But it bites though. It bites. I get.
Yeah, you get some purchase. That seems to hurt it. Right, Jack. So you're in this thing's mouth. Yeah, being chewed on. What do you want to do?
Probably just grab it and try and force its jaws open.
Okay. What's your
So I can just drop
strength?
No.
My strength is quite high. 14. Not as high as Rebecca.
Not as high as a tree.
Hang on, the instructions here don't make any sense.
They both make rolls, and whoever gets the better.
Yeah, that sounds like a good compromise. Right, roll a d20 and tell me how many points under your strength you get. I think they did the maths backwards here. Yeah.
Wow, I rolled very well. My strength is... goddamn. Every single time I lose my place on the sheet.
It was 14, wasn't it?
Was it 4? Yes, I got 12 under my strength.
So you 12 points under, so you got
Yes.
2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah. Okay. Right, yeah. You grab hold of the thing and haul on it and manage to sort of kick around with your foot and hit a beam and push yourself out of its gob. And you fall with a thump to the ground out of its jaws.
Did Caradine get dislodged as well?
Caradine wasn't bitten. Can only bite one
it
of
was
you.
just me.
You were the one that
Yeah,
stepped forward. Yeah. Speaking of which, it's Caradine's turn.
It's a wooden device.
Yeah.
Dragon fire.
Flames of destruction. So that's speed 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, it does not avoid it. So how much damage does that do?
Okay, that's what I was looking to remind myself. It's 1d6. Do I have to make an attack, or is it just the?
No, I've already rolled and it didn't dodge. So yeah.
All right, good.
Being a house.
Most excellent. All right.
So I just need to know the damage.
Yeah, it's 1d6. Yeah. Nice. That's 12 damage.
12 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, and doubled because it's wooden. Okay, yeah.
Oh yes.
You belch forth fire, channeling the power of the dragon, and it cascades all over the wood and inveigles its way inside, singes away a load of the creepers and the moss, and it's now independently burning by itself. All
And
over.
then I get back and pull out some s'mores.
Right,
Hot dog, maybe.
Brother Abbas.
I am going to go for one of the legs with my nicely new enchanted spear.
Okay, do you want the stats for the spear then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I know normally a spear's 2d4 anyway. Isn't it?
Yeah, let me find it. Okay, so spear, 2d4 plus 2 / d8 plus 2.
D8 plus 2. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, go for it.
So is it just under my defense? Yeah.
Just under
sorry,
your attack. Yeah.
Under my attack. And I missed. 17. My attack is 13.
Okay, so with a practiced martial flourish, you whip out the spear, sort of whip it around your body, strike an impressive pose, and then entirely miss it. Probably because it's running around in circles shrieking because its hair is on fire.
Inside, outside. You got a new flame too.
Yeah. Right, the blazing hut charges away into the woods along the broken path as fast as its legs can carry it. So you can pursue or not, up to you, but that's what it's doing. It's running away. And it's emitting that sort of high-pitched whistling noise that burning logs sometimes do. And
So
you take
we can see the smoke.
Yeah, well, you can see the smoke and this hut running away as fast as it can. Right, so Caesora's got the highest reflexes. What do you want to do?
I'm going to chase after the fucker.
Okay,
It might have loot inside it.
you hurtle after it as fast as your legs can carry you. So, yeah, you can close the distance. Do you want to stab it in the back or anything?
Backstab the bastard, yeah.
Yeah. Technically, I guess it's a tradesman's entrance stab rather than a...
Yep, indeed it is.
Okay, so just roll under your attack.
2.
You strike true. Roll to penetrate armor.
Kinky. 7.
Okay.
Sorry, 9.
9, okay. And then roll damage.
7.
Okay. What weapon was that? Your short sword?
Yeah, my short sword. My little
Okay.
toothpick.
Oof, right in the skirting board.
How tall is this house, by the way?
It's about 6 foot tall. But now it's up on it. Now it's up on its legs. It's more like 10 foot tall. Right. So, Alain's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of
Keep
take
chase.
after it. I gotta draw my sword though,
Yeah,
so I'm
you can draw
behind.
and then pursue, but you won't reach it this turn.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's Becca doing?
Oh, sorry, I missed it. How did you get out, Elaine?
Strength.
I wrenched its jaws open,
All right.
for it a chance to do its way with me.
Well, are you all right?
Fine, just kill it. I hate that thing.
Let it go. I think it's on fire.
Yeah, so you just like, there, let it go. Is Caradon doing anything?
Well, she started to give chase, and then I heard him say, "Let it go," and it's like, okay, but it might cause somebody danger in the future.
And is Abbas giving pursuit or hurling the spear or anything?
No, wait.
Okay. Well, as it turns out, chasing it would have been a fruitless pursuit because it takes additional damage from the fire and keels over to one side and ceases moving. Tis dead.
It looks allergic to fire.
Most
We should
monsters
check
are.
We should we should check it for anything it might have had from things that it ate in the past.
Yeah, wait for it to finish burning and then check its
You'll
smoldering
be
carcass.
there. You'll be there a very long time if you're waiting for it to finish burning.
It's about dinner time. We should use the flame to cook our dinner.
Good
Sounds like
idea.
a plan.
We were getting hungry.
Okay, so you can sit around the burning supernatural hut and warm through some rations, drink some ale and some water, and rest and relax. You can have a health point back. But,
Hey!
but sifting through the ashes, there doesn't appear that there was anything of worth. So you are simply forced to press on, albeit with full bellies and rested legs. Of course, the hobgoblin will have gotten further away, but you don't get the impression you were catching up to him particularly well anyway.
It's not good to
We have to find his home.
Adventure on an empty stomach.
Right.
Well, best to eat when you can and not eat near the enemy, right?
Correct.
Right. After quite a lot of walking, with the afternoon starting to wear on, you emerge from one side of the woods. Just a second.
Did I get my crossbow? Did I get my crossbow back to you? Or was it too busy in?
Dice won't walk about. So yeah, you emerge from one side of the woods to partially overgrown remnants of a road. Looks like it's been left mostly unrepaired, maybe cleared a couple of times in the last few decades. So it runs from the northeast to the southwest on a fairly sort of flat trajectory. But as you emerge out onto it and sort of get your bearings, it's nice to be out from under the trees properly for a moment. You hear the sound of hooves and the rumble of wheels. Round a bend in the road to the west comes a black carriage drawn by 4 black horses.
Ah, hide.
Cover.
Yep, duck and cover.
Yeah.
Is everyone
cover.
hiding?
Yes.
Okay.
As it passes, should I catch it on fire?
The carriage thunders on past you, sort of dare to take a glimpse. There's no driver visible, no groom, no footman. The 4 horses are jet black stallions with black feather plumes set into their manes, champing at their bits and snorting fiercely. It leaves a cold sense of unease in its wake and thunders off the rest of the way up the road.
A magical chariot.
It doesn't seem to have crushed any weeds or left any tracks.
Was the thing that the guy in the tavern told us not to do. Get spotted by the chariot.
I sort of glower it and just sort of mumble to myself, one day, though.
Yeah, soon.
Soon, yeah.
Is that not the
Right.
same god that killed the people that he found?
Yes.
Yeah, it has the coat of arms of the current Duke of Erawan on the side. Right, so given that the nasty evil carriage thing went that way, that pretty much settles it that you have to go the opposite direction. So the road is actually quite nice. It's a lot easier going. The undergrowth isn't so thick, so you're not tripping on tree roots and ragwort all the time. Yeah, it was well built back in the day, following the ancient Celentine Empire model. Yeah, pretty straight, pretty true. Not bad at all. Of course, the forest is encroaching a bit now, but still. You make pretty good time. Though the afternoon is wearing on. Eventually, however, you arrive at an area where the woods are kind of carved out slightly either side. There's a pathway to the north and a pathway to the south, sort of cuts across the road. On the northern side of the road, as you sort of crest a rise here, you find yourself overlooking 3 gallows set on top of a small mound. An old woman hangs from one of them, dressed in a peasant's coarse woolen cloak. She hangs from a rope tied behind her back, and she still seems to be alive, moaning softly. You hear her muttering something about them getting her, whoever them is. Glancing around, you fancy that you see dark figures inching towards you through the undergrowth, though you may be imagining it. The other arms of the gallows are empty, though there are some bones scattered around the bottom.
Archer, shoot her down. Not shoot
Hang on
her.
So she's not hanging by the neck. No, she's just,
No, she's hung around the waist. Oh, it's crueler in some ways to just leave her here to die of exposure or some other or predation, or to be pecked apart by crows, or whatever horrible thing it might be.
I mean, she's definitely dead, I assume. I don't even know why I asked that.
Yep. No, sorry, she's not dead. No, but the other bodies are. Sorry, I was trying to look something up and listen to you at the same time. I shouldn't do that.
I said down at once.
You all
Let's just move forward and cut her down with a sword.
take her weight or grab her legs.
Okay.
If someone else can cut her down.
I'll lower the rope. Tired.
Okay. One second. I need to look something up first.
The camera's on me.
Don't know why. Someone else say something.
Ah.
There we go. There you go. Now you don't have to feel quite so sensitive. Right. So are you all moving up? What's the situation here? There's the old woman hanging from the gallows, rope around her waist. Things lurking in the woods around her.
Stand on the road and kind of keep watch over everybody while Elaine moves up to let her down.
Okay. So you're standing back on watch. Is Cesora moving up?
I'm staying beside the one who's taking watch.
Okay, so you're standing beside Kerridan.
Yep.
Elaine's moving up.
Mm-hmm.
Becca's moving up. Yep, and Abbas.
Yeah.
I'll stand beside the others and watch. And
Okay.
ready my spear just in case anything comes out.
So keeping guard. Okay. Right. So you approach the old woman, and the things, whatever they are, sort of circling around in the woods, seem to move closer, and snarl like you're intruding somehow by going up to her.
Begone, beasts! I'll cut you down.
How are you gonna let the old woman down? Are you gonna cut her and catch her, or?
Yeah, I'll catch her.
Okay.
I was gonna let her down carefully because she's been hung up and she's old.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So you sort of stop and grab hold of her, and then, or Becca does, and then one of you can cut the rope, and then you can ease her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hold her. Here, you cut the rope.
Okay. Right. So you grab hold of her, cut the rope, sort of ease her down, and as you do so, these things lurch out of the undergrowth. They look like men, but dry, bloodied, stained, and their necks are all hanging at peculiar angles and crackling and snapping as they move, sort of like they're not even attached to their bodies, just sort of wobbling all over the place. And there are old...
Entangle.
And there's the remnants of old hemp ropes around their necks as they lunge. But they don't have surprise because you definitely saw them coming. So yeah, they burst out from around the gallows where the old woman and our two friends are. So Cesora has highest reflexes. What do you want to do?
Do I see what looks like a ringleader?
No, they all look much the same.
How many is there?
There are 6. So pretty heavy numbers.
I'll shoot at the one middle left. So that's number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Yep. Headshot.
Right. So you level your crossbow and fire.
Well, I was going to reload it when I was camping.
Just 1 second, I need to look something up again quickly.
As I said, did I manage to get that crossbow out of that house, or was it totally burnt?
No, you'll be in it. You'll have been able to. No, it burnt. No, it burnt. No, you can't get that back. I was just thinking it hit into the wood, so it wouldn't be too damaged. But after the fire, no, that's gone.
Get another one later.
Yeah. I keep forgetting how to do ranged attacks because it doesn't use defense. It uses that static difficulty depending on range. Okay, we'll call it medium range. So take 3 away from your attack and roll.
Okay, 1 headshot coming up. Da, 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 2.
Okay.
Oh, just each.
And they have no armor, so roll damage.
9.
999.
Yeah.
Right. It's quite difficult to aim for the head because their heads are just lolling around, sort of snapped and broken and no longer attached to their bodies. But somehow you manage to pull it off. Your bolt sinks into its throat and passes out through the lower half of its skull, but it still seems to be moving.
Okay.
Right. Elaine, you set the old woman down and draw your sword?
Yes.
Okay. I take it you're going to sort of stand in defense of the old lady.
Yeah.
Okay. So you sort of bracket her between you and Becca for protection. Okay. 3 of the ghouls fall upon Elaine. How do you want to divide up your defense?
I think I'll divide them evenly between 2, and probably take the hit from the last one.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna splitting it 3 ways would be very wise.
So what's your defense then?
13.
13. So you can't split it evenly. So 6 and 7?
6 and 7.
Okay. And then the last one you don't defend against, right? And your armor's 5?
Yep.
Okay, so 2 of them hurl themselves forward. You sort of wave them back with your sword, which they seem to be somewhat deathly afraid of. One of them slips past your guard, but his clawed hands just rake across the plate of your armor without penetrating. Right. Becca is attacked by the other 3. How do you want to split your defense?
What have I got? I've not got my sword. So it's a
Holding an old woman as well.
yeah.
Yeah, she counts as a bludgeoning weapon.
Yeah. Well, I'd hoped to just heft her and run, but I can't do that, can I?
No, you have to kind of keep her between you to protect her.
Right, okay. So what my defense is 11.
11. So
Yes,
how do you want to split it?
Uh,
4-4-3?
Yeah, 4-4-3. Yeah.
Okay, so you sort of set the old woman down between you and sort of turn your back on these things. 2 of them just sort of rebound off your chainmail. The last one leaps up onto your back and sort of latches on with its hands and feet and swings its body forward, and its head whiplashes forward and bites into your neck in the gap between your armor.
Oh, that's creepy.
You take 7 health of damage as it tears into your throat.
Oh, it's not funny.
Oh, not funny.
And then it's Becca's go, with this thing latched onto your neck, with the stench of the grave wafting in your nostrils.
All right, so I've got no weapons drawn everywhere because I was had my hands full.
Yeah. So just sort of get it off you and get your weapon drawn for your action. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just yeah.
I'll let you dig an elbow into it if you want. If you want to make an unarmed attack.
Yeah. I'll just try and throw it off.
Yeah, its defense is 9.
Attack is 19. 2. Yeah, that's a hit. Yes.
And then
So-
it's D3 for unarmed, I think. So it's got no armor, so just roll D3 damage plus your strength bonus if you have one.
I just want to get it off me. 2 hits.
2 hits. Okay. Yeah, you slam your elbow back into it and throw it off your body onto the ground and get your sword free, blood running down your side over your shirt from your neck wound. Right. Caradon's go.
I move to the old woman, and while I do, I cast Hold Off the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surrounded by a 2 meter radius zone that will stave off undead from moving towards me.
Okay. Let me just double check the rules on that. Trouble with spells, you got to learn every single one.
Mainly to protect the woman.
Yeah, hold off the dead. Cannot enter without taking a magical attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you dash up, press your hand to the earth, speak your enchantment, and a pulse of energy goes out, sort of throwing all the ghouls back about 2 meters away from you. Right. Because they're caught in the radius, but then all it's going to do is push them back. Yeah, it doesn't actually harm them. All right, so they're shoved back.
Yep.
Right. Right, Brother Abbas's go.
And then tell the lady to stay close to me.
Right, I'll go help Sir Elaine and attack one of the ones that's attacking him.
Okay, so
with the spear.
Yeah. So you dash up behind and drive your spear at one of them. Just roll under your attack. They've got no defense left.
Missed again.
Well done.
Got 18, needed under 30.
You're a man of God, not a man of violence. It's allowed. Right, so Caesaurus go. Crossbow bolt spent. What do you want to do?
Chase up to the one which attacks Becca and unsheath my sword.
Okay. Yeah, so you get up behind it with your sword ready.
Yep.
Right, so Elaine.
For some reason, I'm just when Brother Abbas attacked that one with the spear, I just imagined him sort of plunging into its back and it just going straight through, but it just doesn't react at all.
That would work.
So I'm just gonna turn towards that one as it's momentarily distracted by Abbas and try and lop off its head.
Okay. Go for it. Its defense is 9.
Oh, ha ha ha! I hit with a 4.
Okay. No armor, so roll damage.
Damage. Oh! I'm getting like a feedback. I can hear myself.
Yeah.
8.
To me? No.
I rolled an 8. Plus 3 is 11.
Which one were you attacking again?
The one that Brother Abbas just
Missed.
tried to hit. Missed.
Right, that's enough to finish it. Yeah, you lop its dangly head from its shoulders and cut through the old rotten noose around its neck, and it falls still for the last and final time. Right. The 2 remaining ghouls attempt to attack you. What's Caradon's magical attack for the strength of the ward?
Where's that at? That's over here.
Should be with your other combat stats.
Yeah, I had it open. Much like
19.
Where did it go? 19. Yeah, it's pretty high.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. Neither of them managed to force their way through the field, so they failed to attack you. The other 3 are still going for Becca, but only one manages to force its way through the ward. So what's Becca's defense? Full defense? You're muted.
Yeah, I've got my sword of Valor out now. Yeah,
That's
so it's 22 defense. Sorry, 14 defense. 14
defense. Okay, yeah, you easily managed to ward it off without it getting through to hit you.
And
Right.
with the,
So Becca's go.
Okay. Well, the nearest one, I'll try and cut that in half. I'm going to go for the classic overhead.
Overhead cleave.
okay. No,
Left clavicle to right hip.
Okay, its defense is 9.
Oh, and I missed.
Lane.
Thank you.
Right, you nearly strike it, but it's weird random movements because that floppy head mean you just sort of dig into the dirt beside it, just narrowly missing.
So gross.
Keradan's attack.
All right. Keradan will use her sword to attack the one that came in the ward because it's close enough.
Okay, go for it. Its defense is 9.
Defenses. Oop, wrong die. I want the other die. Where did their stats go? Oh, I swear. I just have it open. I'm doing some school stuff at the same time. All right. So her attack is 11, I think. All right. And it was a magic sword, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
That will be a 10. So it's under my 11. Yeah, okay.
So,
+1. So 9. Because it's a +1. So, no, it's a +2 sword. 8.
what's your attack?
My attack is the short sword of Valendar.
Yeah.
It's a.
Ele-
wait, wrong
your attack
die.
is 11.
Sorry. Wrong die. I went to D&D. I rolled a 20. I don't know why I was thinking.
You do roll 20.
No.
You do roll a d20. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I did that. Right.
So what?
All right.
What's your attack? Your attack is 11, isn't it? Was that
11.
it?
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you get +2 for the sword.
+1.
+2. +2 for the Valendar sword.
Okay,
The
so that would
short
take you
sword
to
of Valendar.
13. Its defense is 9, which means you'd need to roll a 1 to 4 on the d20.
Oh, a 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
well, I rolled a 10. So I
okay,
missed.
so yeah, you'd miss. Perturbed by the fact that it got through your ward. Right, Brother Abbas, will he hit something this turn?
Please, the gods say yes.
Oh, attack +2 minus.
Yes,
Got
9.
it. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, so you strike with the spear. Roll the damage.
Don't need to make an armor bypass roll, do I? Sorry.
No, just damage.
9 points of damage.
Okay. You drive the leaf-shaped head of the spear through the back of one of them and twist it. And the magical blade just seems to carve through its flesh like nothing. And when you withdraw the spear, it's like its strings are cut. It just drops. Yeet. Right. Next turn. Caesura. You're now up there with your sword ready.
Yep. Attacking the one which attacks Becca.
Okay. Its defense is 9.
Okay, doke.
Okay.
3.
Okay. Roll damage.
That will be 9.
Okay.
And plus for the D6 +1, 5.
Sorry, are you using both weapons or what?
No, I'm using the short sword of Valdar. I rolled
Yeah.
the D8 and I got 7.
Oh, for the armor bypass. Right, which
Yeah,
you didn't need to worry about.
3.
I
Yep.
just needed the damage. So what was the
Okay,
second roll?
okay, altogether I got 5.
Okay. Right, yeah, you come up behind it and drive your blade multiple times into its back, but it doesn't seem to drop. It seems carved, damaged, but it's not dropped. Right, Elaine.
Me. There's one left on next near me. If I recall correctly.
I believe so.
Yes, I'm just gonna face that one and try and drive my sword through it.
Okay. Its defense is 9.
I think I missed. 18 plus 3 is 21.
So
Take away
12 under.
9, 12 under. Yeah, no, I missed.
Okay. So you drive at it, but fail to take it out. Okay. So the remaining ghouls try to continue to push through the ward. None of them manage to, and put off by their prey putting up such a fight and having such magical defenses, they turn tail and run. Do you want to pursue or let them go?
Infernal creatures.
No.
Let them go. I'm bleeding over here.
No particular point.
Medical attention required. Right, now the old lady. Once you're able to turn your attention to her, she's massively exposed. She's just skin and bone. Lips are all cracked and bloody when she tries to talk.
Give her some water. Give her some food.
Yeah, she tries to drink the water and sort of suck on the jerky that you offer her to eat. But it seems to be of little avail. She gets her voice back a little bit. Thank you, good travellers.
What did this to you?
Those... I was travelling. There's ruins of a monastery in the river about a mile to the west. Used to be a sanctuary. I thought I'd see if any of the old magic was still there. But the monks are wicked creatures now. The whole monastery is a dwelling of the undead, like those hanged creatures that taunted me here. This blight on our land, it has to be lifted. She begs a little more water.
Give her some more.
She drinks it down, thanks you all again, and then sort of breathes out and passes away. But at least she wasn't ripped away by ghouls.
My first impression was that these things became this way due to being hanged on this gallows. Shall we cut them down?
I think the place needs cleansed.
This whole land needs cleansed.
After we have found the hobgoblin, we have
Other things to deal with.
other things to deal with, it seems. There's a cursed woodsman, monastery, a duke.
He's released.
Yes, the remaining hanged men.
You should probably just cut them all down and burn them. The gallows, too.
Well, we can leave that. Is everyone all right for time? We're not that far off the end now, but do you want to wait? And then next session, whoever's able to make it, we can finish off the hobgoblin and then maybe investigate a couple of these side quests. Or we can finish the quest tonight. You've got 2 more encounters. Maybe.
Good for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool to finish off. Keep going till we reach the hobgoblin, if we're getting to the hobgoblin.
Is everyone all right with
then
that? Yeah.
do
Yeah.
the rest
Yeah.
of the stuff next session.
Okay. Yeah, we can come back and visit some of the other bits and pieces. Let's skip over
But
those couple of bits.
first, Becker's wounded. I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah.
How much is he wounded?
A lot, I mean, she nearly took my bloody head off.
You took
Is he the only
7.
one-
You took 7 health, didn't you? Yeah.
Is he the only one who got hurt?
Yeah. She's the only wounded.
All right, give me a sec.
I think you're the only person who can heal as well.
Probably.
Yeah, Brother Abbas can only heal himself at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Ooh, that's not good.
How many magic points do you have left? I mean, how
Have you
much
3? I
magic
have 9.
aura do you have? In...
I have a bit of magic still left.
how many points in total?
For you, I have 9 left.
Oh.
I had 12. I cast 3 so far.
Okay, so casting healing.
It would take
Okay.
3 points to return her to
Something
almost
like
full health.
Full health, yeah.
No, you said it would take 3 points?
3 points, yeah.
Because it costs.
So that's 6. That's 6 health, and
Yeah.
she's wounded by 7 points.
Right. So a third level spell, the third level spell would heal her all the way.
Oh, that's
7.
greater
Whoa,
healing.
you have greater healing.
Yeah,
Greater.
Yeah,
Apparently, I leveled up, maybe?
yeah. That would be 3 magic points and 7 health back. So that would be all of it for the same cost.
Yeah, use that if you want.
Right, and it
Nice.
does everybody. That's why I said, is anybody else hurting? Right? Oh, is it one person or is
It's
it?
only
It's
one
one person.
person. It's just
Oh, I was
you
gonna
don't
look
you
that
don't
up.
have to touch them. It's just you can cast it at range now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Got it. So yeah, I'll do that.
With a few passes and invocations, Becca's wounds close and expel the festering muck from the ghoul's teeth. He should be
Oh.
set.
Ew.
Was a 3rd degree hickey.
Right. As I said, we'll skip a couple of bits and we'll come back and do the sort of mop-up next time. So the Hobgoblin's trail seems to be stronger now. It's like he's not bothering, thinking he's probably shaken you off at this point. The sun is beginning to set. You've been a whole day at this. And you ford the river at a passing point that cattle must have used in the past. The water comes up to your waist, but it's not too terrible. Just cold. And then you enter the woods on the other side of the bank. And passing along another trail, these woods spookily, eerily similar to the woods on the other side of the river. Normally rivers act as a sort of natural magical barrier, but not here, it seems. You eventually reach a dank clearing, in the middle of which you can see the lichen-covered stones of an ancient well. The drooping branches of weeping willow trees overhang it. The hobgoblin's footsteps are clearly visible in the mud, leading up to the edge of the well, and then they disappear.
Oh, he lives in this well.
Filthy creature. It's probably inside.
Caesura can creep ahead and have a look.
Yep, I'll keep up stealthily.
Yeah, what's your stealth?
22.
Okay. Caesura hunkers down and creeps over to the well. So, let's see. Peering over the edge, you can see an ancient brick shaft descending to an earthen floor. Thick tendrils of ivy cling to the wall all the way to the bottom. And there's fresh tears where leaves have been pulled off. So clearly this is how he or they or it climbs up and down here. There's no exits apparent at the bottom of the shaft. And the mouldering rope only hangs down for a couple of meters. You can't see any obvious place where the goblin could have gone.
I'll say to Sir Elaine quietly, you want me to go down?
You have rope?
Yeah, I've got rope.
I think you can do so quietly, get the trap on him.
No problem. Stealthily, I put my grapple iron on the rim of the well
Yep.
and abseil down quietly.
Okay. Right, with the rope it's easy enough. You make your way down. It's a well-built old well, though it looks like it's been mostly dry for a very long time. There's all this ivy clinging to the inside, and as you get deeper, the ivy gets browner and more dead, and the walls start to get slick. What's your perception?
My perception, 11.
Okay, roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
3.
Okay, you're getting down towards the bottom. You're a couple of meters off the sort of thick, muddy muck at the bottom. And you notice that one of the stones in the wall is much bigger than all the rest and has a lot less moss on it.
Does it look like a trap by any chance?
It just looks like a flat piece of stone. though it's slightly worn on one side.
How big's the stone we were given from that guy? The
Only,
leper.
only about twice the size of your thumb.
Right. Okay. Does it look like it's been brought out, or do you push it in?
Yeah, you don't know. But it doesn't seem to look like it fits this stone at all. This just looks like a big slab of stone.
I'll cautiously look at it when I'm like abseiling down. Like, look at it, you know.
Yeah, it's a slab of stone set in the side of the wall.
Okay, curiosity killed the assassin yet again. Can I try and prise it out with my free hand?
Yeah, you sort of reach out to it, hook your legs and arm around the rope while everyone else is sort of looking down at you. Hook your fingers in the side, and with surprising ease, the stone swings out as though it were on a hinge of some kind, and there's a passage beyond it.
Excellent. I like this. Okay. How big's the passageway?
It's about 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters.
Does it look man-made?
It looks more like a burrow, really, sort of smooth walled. But the door is surprisingly well made and crafted. But the corridor just looks like it's sort of dug into the mud and braced here and there with bits of stone and wood. There's roots sticking through it here and there.
Would I have to go on all fours to crawl down, yeah?
You'd have to hunch.
Right. I'll risk it for a chocolate biscuit. You only live once. Who gives a fuck?
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm sort of concerned that Caradin is...
Caesura.
Caesura is ducking out of view and looks like he's going somewhere.
Yeah, he seems to be swinging across and disappearing into the side of the well.
Like, Caesura, where are you going?
Don't worry, smoke me a kip. I'll be back for breakfast.
Shout if you need help.
Okay.
So I'll scream.
So the rope hangs listlessly now that Caesura's off it. Right.
Shall we join him?
You can get the drop on creatures and alert us to potential dangers up ahead. It's incredibly useful.
They'll wear themselves out killing him, and then we can finish them off much easily. Right, at the end of that short earthen corridor, there's another stone door, similarly balanced. Looks like it should just swing open with a push.
Any sound of any movement behind the door, or is it that solid?
Let's see. You can hear a distant sobbing from the other side of the door.
Okay. I'll crawl back to the base of the well, which I saw, which I came in from. So I'm back at, sort of like, put my head out from the hole, looking up at the top of the well, and say, she's down here. I'll go back to the door.
Right. Let's go after him.
Go down. After you, sir, Erlene.
Yeah, I'll sort of go first then. Or second, technically.
Okay.
Who said this whole problem's gone on all four?
Okay. All right. So you climb down, no problem with the rope. So who's down there? Caesura, Elaine.
Yeah, I'll go down as well.
Okay.
And then I'll follow after that.
All right. And Abbas?
I'll go last.
Okay. So you kind of hold the rope steady while everyone crams themselves into this tiny little corridor. There isn't actually enough room for Abbas to join you, so he'll have to just hang on the rope for the time being. Okay, so you're all there, squeezed up, ready. Now what?
Stealthily open up the door.
Okay.
Slowly, carefully.
Yeah. You very, very slowly push it open. It's an extremely well-balanced hinge, so it doesn't really make a huge amount of noise. Right.
The cheese.
Knocks over a base on the other side.
This is a room hollowed out of the earth, with planks of wood or tree branches, really, used to prop up the roof here and there. Gnarled roots of trees protrude like hands out of the walls and the floor and the ceiling, and there are several black holes around the outside, passages that could lead into other tunnels and rooms here. The room is stuffed to the gills with all kinds of nicked stuff. Old rocking chairs, iron utensils, battered boxes and chests, an assortment of clothing, rotten bits of food, mirrors, a small wooden card table, and there's a curtain across the room, sort of shielding the rear half of the room from the front.
Is that where the sobbing is coming from?
That's where the sobbing is coming from. There's also coins scattered about as well. 1 second. Okay, yeah. So what now?
I'm going to stealthily go up to the curtain.
Okay, you creep towards the curtain. There's a couple
Try
of
not
there's a couple of silhouettes moving behind it. One of which is short and scrawny with this funny hat on, and the other one is the very thin and slightly feminine shape of, you presume, Clothilda.
fingers crossed, stab through the curtain. Not the feminine one, but the other one.
You killed my girlfriend.
Okay, take 5 away from your attack and roll.
Ooh, 2. So
Okay.
my attack 17. So I got 2.
Is that with the magic sword?
Yes.
Okay, roll damage, please.
10 for the D8, so that's 10. And for the D6 plus 1, 7. Ooh, full house.
So 7. Okay. Right, yeah, you stab through the curtain and strike whatever it is beyond it. It gives a shrill shriek of pain. Ah! And the curtain falls. Okay. At the back of the room is a sort of cage of tree roots, with the roots running from floor to ceiling. Clothilda is strung up by her wrists at the back, hanging from a root. She's been stripped bare, and God, she's a scrawny girl. And she's covered in cuts and bruises. Looks like she's in the process of being tortured. The hobgoblin is naked, save for his cap, and he's holding a shard of glass-like crystal and clutching the wound to his side.
Can I keep that sword in him?
Yeah.
And so every time it's in him, it does damage, James.
No. When the curtain fell down, it befouled your sword, and you had to pull it back.
Oh, right.
So
Seeing this, I'll burst inside.
yeah. Okay. Right. So that was surprise, basically. So it'll be Cesora again, then you. So Cesora again. There's the hobgoblin and all his naked evil glory.
I'm going to chop his bloody head off.
Okay.
Which one?
Yeah. His defense is 10. So
Okay.
take that away from your attack.
Okay, so I have to get 7 under. Here goes nothing. 6. Ooh.
Okay. And roll damage.
7 on the D8, that's 9. And on the D6, 7 again.
So it's 7. Okay. Right. So yeah, you get your sword clear of the cloth and drive it into him again. He staggers back, hissing in pain.
Well, I was trying to chop his head off so he couldn't scream for backup.
Well, you don't lop his head off, so he does manage to scream. He wards you off with this shard. Your blade strikes the crystal and rings like a bell. Yeah. And then Elaine's go.
I'm gonna chop his todger off.
Where's Potter?
Okay, go for it.
Oh, I miss.
He's not got any defense to give against you.
I rolled a 19.
Oh, okay. So you miss.
Yeah.
It's such a small target, you didn't
Such
stand
a
a
small
chance.
target. Yeah, I was about to say. My mind.
Right.
It's armored.
He levels the crystal towards Caesura as if it were a staff or a wand, and mutters something in guttural hobgoblin tongue. What is Caesura's magical defense?
6.
6. Right. For a moment, you feel like your breath is being torn from your body, but then you become aware again of the weight and power of the sword in your hand, and you're able to draw breath again without it harming you. Becca's go. There's not really a lot of room to swing a claymore in here.
No, I have to use it like a spear in 2 hands.
Yep. Drive it at him. Okay, he's got no defense left, so straight attack.
12, that's a hit.
Yep. And damage.
9 hits. So a straight thrust at his chest.
So you charge forward as the others fight at him, and he tries to ward them off and cast his spells, and you drive the tip of your claymore into his soft belly, out the other side, and ram him into the far wall, sinking your blade like a foot clear into the dirt and sort of making him hang there. He gurgles his last and dies.
Stick around. Stick around, you might learn something.
As he dies, the crystal shard drops from his hand, hits the floor, and with a crackling musical sound extends until it's about 1.5 meters long.
I was going to try and catch it before it hits the ground.
Well,
So it doesn't sound.
presumably, this is the crystal shard you've been after.
That's the thing.
And that can turn into a weapon? What?
Just draw my sword and hack at it.
Okay, you hack the goblin into mince. Yeah,
I'll cut
hobgoblin
down
tartar.
I'll cut down the barkeeper's daughter.
Okay, as you move into the back and sort of rip and hack the roots out of the way to get to her and unhook her, you see that there's several other bodies hanging in this area, like the torso and one arm of a child of maybe 5, stuffed with herbs and things in its empty eye sockets and mouth, and it's all rather disturbing. Clearly some sort of larder, but you cut her down, cover her up, and get her out of there.
Yeah.
He may have some valuable loot in amongst the junk, but you get out of there and get some breath. Sorry, what?
Thinking about casting a magic word to look to see if anything in here is magical.
Yeah, I will tell you in a sec. As you get outside and out of the well to get your breath and sort of pass up what you've got out, the last rays of the evening sun hit the crystal, and for a moment there is an illusory, translucent vision of a pointy-eared man in a white robe holding up his hands imploringly. The image sort of judders and almost skips, like it's glitchy, if you knew what a glitch was. And it mouths 3 words over and over again. Darien, Castle, Crystal. Over and over until the last rays of the sun disappear over the horizon and the crystal goes dark.
So it wasn't Obi-Wan, you're my only hope.
No. Right, so that is the end of that section of the adventure. So next session will be Thursday for anyone who can make it, and we'll use the Thursday session to kind of go back, I guess, and clear out the more interesting encounters from in the woods for the local villagers. Does that sound good?
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Fun.
So you were going to cast your spells to detect anything magical in the hobgoblin's den.
Dora. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, what is there? So the crystal shard, some magical ring mail. There'll be 2 potions, but I'll have to roll to see what they are. But you should be able to identify them. Vial of poison, handful of gems, and some gold and silver. So yeah, there's stuff there. Yeah, sorry tonight wasn't quite so good. I was underprepared, and it's a longer adventure than I thought. So
Apologise.
that's why we've run a bit late.
Always run good sessions.
Yeah, I'm a perfectionist. I get antsy if it doesn't go quite right. And after last session was really good, and even I thought so. It's a bit, yeah. But hopefully it was okay and not too rushed.
I think it's exactly the same with my sessions.
Yeah, there isn't really a lot of downtime. You'll kind of be moving straight on. So is there anything you want me to take note of before next session?
I'd just like to have a better idea of what this gauntlet does, really, if I can figure that out.
I think I'll burn the hobgoblin's lair once we're done with it.
Sounds like a plan. With a lot of deep meditation on the gauntlet, basically, if you're wearing that gauntlet, that hand is essentially immune to anything. You can thrust it into fire, into acid, into ice spells, or cursed whatever. So long as you're wearing that gauntlet, your hand, at least as far as your wrist, is completely immune.
What you need to do is find the rest of the armor that.
That's
all set,
super useful.
Yeah. Right.
Is this gauntlet green? Just curious.
No, the gauntlet is not green.
It's not the
melted type.
Green Knight's gauntlet.
Okay. Let's wrap it up there. I'll sort out the characters and stuff for next time. Thanks for playing and for putting up with all the technical inconveniences. And sorry it wasn't quite as good as last time, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Night, everybody.
Cheers.
That's good.
Night.